to give you your daily collective read. We are going to get started on our, oh no, what did I do here? Hold on a minute. How did I do that? I need to figure out how to turn this off. We are going to get started on today's daily collective read in just a few minutes, but first I need to figure out how to turn off this. I need to figure out how to turn off this ridiculous filter that I accidentally activated. Please hold tight as I try to figure out how to turn this off. So this is fun. How is everyone doing today? I hope you're having an absolutely beautiful day. I think it's probably in the effects. We are having some technical difficulties. Please hold on a minute as I try to figure out how to turn this off. Oh dear God. Okay, there we go. And we're back. Okay, so that was fun. Welcome everybody. How are you doing? I'm doing fine. This is what I actually look like. We are going to get started on today's daily collective. I have a feeling today's going to be great. We're going to get started on today's daily collective read in the next few minutes, but if you would like to get on the list for a personal reading, the list as always is open. As always, it is 3 cards for a donation of 28 or more, 4 cards for a donation of 22 or more for my subscribers, Binks and Mylio. Please keep in mind there are 2 things I do not read across these apps. Those are pregnancy and medical. Happy to give insight on anything in a private reading, and you can book a private reading on my site. Also, we are doing 2 giveaways today. Our first giveaway is we will be doing a reading giveaway when we get to 50K likes. So make sure that you're tapping that screen and we will get to 50K in no time. And the other giveaway we're doing today is we will be doing a giveaway for whoever gives the highest gift between now and the conclusion of the daily collective read. So I wish you a lot of luck in winning that as well. Prior to beginning today's daily collective read, we will be doing a brief recap on what we've been seeing over the cards over the last few days. If you would like to catch any of that full reading, you can find it over on the place where we keep the videos. You can also find it over on the place where we keep the photos. You can also find it as a podcast over on my Spot and over on my Substack. As I mentioned, we are going to get started today, but first and foremost, most important question I have for you guys right now is how are you doing? How are you doing with this full moon in Libra energy? Let me know, scale of 1 to 10. We're going to talk a little bit about it as well. How are you doing today, Holly? Heads up, your subscription's going to end soon if you'd like to renew. Welcome, 444. And thank you as well, Chelsea. Let's keep the filter. Could you imagine? Could you imagine if I kept that filter during the whole live? I can't. That would be fun. Hi there, Ava. Good to see you. Thank you as well. Welcome, Jules. Good to see you too. I know. It's going to be one of those days, Kay. We're just going to roll with it. It's fine. We're still in the retrograde shadow period. We're still in the Venus retrograde shadow period. It's okay. We roll with the punches here. And see, Mike, thank you for those gifts. It was very funny. It was adorable. You can't see the cards. It was not practical. Adorable, but not practical. And AR, thank you for joining us as well. And guys, please welcome our moderator, Kagan, in for today's readings. Good to see you, dear. I hope you're doing well. Well, kitty meat, puppy meat. Today is hamster day. I love it. Good afternoon, Dada. So good to see you. And V, thank you for sharing the live. Always appreciate when you guys share the live. The hamster filter actually looked incredibly cute. I am completely obsessed with it. It is not the time or the place. That's a very bad placement for it though, because it's very easy to accidentally hit it when you've gone live. So there's a note there. V, I dreamt the other day, I was texting in my dream. I can't remember the rest of the dream though. Interesting. Do you remember reading in the text, or do you just remember kind of the gist of the text? Because that's very important when we're doing dream interpretations. For those who are joining us here, we do dream interpretations, we do past life readings, we do highest priority messages from spirit, we do life path readings, we do love readings, we do pet readings, we do spirit animal readings, we do mediumship readings. The only things we do not read for here on this app are pregnancy and medical. Anything else I would do in a private reading. If you would like to get on the list for today, the list is open. You will be the first person read for today, and the first person read for will always have an additional card in their reading. Feeling emotional. I'm not surprised to feel like that right now, Jules. There's a lot of balancing out that we see. There's a lot of working through the context of trying to find that point or finding that center of balance. One of the things that we're seeing that's happening right now that I kind of want to walk you guys through what we've been experiencing over the last few weeks, which is why I feel like the energy that we're experiencing right now, it's it's heavy, it's affirming, it's stabilizing, but it's also very cathartic because effectively what we are seeing, and I just kind of want to explain. So if you'll recall, a few weeks ago when we entered eclipse season, Mars and Venus had already pushed into Aries, and there was a regression point that we saw. I mean, this is why we call them retrogrades of Mars and Venus kind of pulling backwards back into Pisces that we experienced during the eclipse cycle. So, and at the same time, Neptune was progressing forward. So Neptune, and I keep on explaining this, is Neptune is heavy energy. It's back end. It's like the memory bank. It's why we have the association to the ocean in it, because the ability to have the capacity to hold, to be able to build into the space of sentimentality, there's a lot of density there. Mercury, much more the energy of innovation, fast thinking, progressive thought. Now we've got a little bit of this I like to describe it, this paradoxical movement that's been happening that we experienced during that retrograde cycle, because the energy that typically would move forward was moving behind Neptune, which is the energy that you would expect backwards, like the engine that moves behind the caboose. This is why I was describing some of that shift almost like a K-turn, if you will, because the ability to see something in a different way in the context of time, there's a lot of that work that we see that is occurring here. And this is often why we talk about the fact that during retrograde periods, things have a tendency of coming back spiritually, emotionally, or physically. But I would say there was an even higher degree of that potentially happening right now with the fact that Neptune is effectively in front of Mercury. And I keep on describing this, like when I see retrogrades come to conclusion points, I always see it as the planets wake up. And it's what the planets face in the moment that they wake up that can kind of calibrate how we feel as these retrograde experiences come to closure points. And so, one of the things that we see that's happening right now is Mercury is standing behind Neptune. So seeing something from the past, from a perspective that you could not see before, all due to the advancement or the progression of the self. It's heavy when we have those moments. It can feel very reaffirming, but working through that space, setting one's own intention, allowing that force, allowing that not to make you feel frustrated, but almost fortify you as you continue forward. This is why I keep on describing a lot of the partnerships that are coming together right now as chariot partnerships. And what's interesting about chariot lessons is when you hear the term chariot, you would assume that means that they're very fast. Not the case. And I talk about this a lot when we are doing our classes and specifically around the chariot card. What's interesting about the chariot energy is it's not about the rapidness of progress. It is, and we talk about the fact that the depiction itself in the card that Pamela Coleman Smith created looks like a stationary figure. There's no movement there. Pamela was very good at depicting movement. Why did she create such a static image while depicting the chariot? Almost looks like it's in concrete, because it's a conversation about the force that is necessary, that we often have to find within ourselves to move something forward, right? It's not the waiting that's the hardest part. It's the starting that's the hardest part, right? That's the start of something, the intentions we set for ourselves, the ability to move forward, the clumsiness that we often experience in those moments. It's a conversation about fledgling energy. It's a conversation about what it takes to find the pathwork of determination And it's also one about allowing a bit of clumsiness in that process, because when we're learning things, right, we often feel awkward. We often feel embarrassed. We often feel confused. But when we allow for that context of being compassionate with ourselves as we're doing something in a way we haven't done it before, we don't get frustrated. We don't give up. We start over, right? We try again. It's like a lot of that, like it's a lot of that revving of the engine kind of energy. And this path work is, I keep on seeing, this is very important right now for a lot of the energy that is moving into partnership at this time, because again, that same stop or start that we're seeing, that clumsiness, some of that moment of working through frustration. One of the things that I keep on seeing that's happening right now for energy coming into union is the ability to, and this is a bit of a gift that I feel is coming through with this Libra full moon and with the combination of Jupiter being in Gemini, right? The ability to tell the difference between trepidation and hesitation, between the pathwork of trying to do something better and to come into those points of accommodating and to come into those points of calibrating and coming into those points of identifying and recognizing what it is that one is trying to set one's intention upon, versus the ability to see when someone is hesitant, is drawing back, is reluctant, is resistant. And a lot of this work, and this is why I keep on seeing that for some of these partnerships that are coming together right now, working through frustration, or potentially even feeling the ability to have a space in partnership to air one's frustration. This is how we feel truly held, right? Because one of the things we're also seeing has to do with the difference between relationships of inspiration versus aspiration, right? One of what we were identifying with energy that is in inspiration is energy that always wishes for things, but doesn't move in a progressive way to consistently build towards it, right? Versus the energy of aspiration that is always identifying and recognizing something that they can do better and putting that active change into practice. Now, for a lot of this work, that's why I keep on seeing that this full, like coming out of this eclipse cycle, working through the context of this Libra full moon, recognizing and identifying what that work is. That's why I keep on feeling like there's so much frustration here, but it is the frustration that is articulated as it relates to pathwork of determination, right? Not letting oneself be frustrated, but moving that frustration into a space that it helps to heal something. Now, for this is having a different impact depending on where one finds oneself on the frequency cycles. For masculine and feminine energy right now in separation, that's why I keep on seeing that there's a lot of these partnerships that are coming together at this time. They're slow. They are not just fixing in and moving forward. There's a lot of, I keep on seeing, like, there's delicacy here. It's almost like lace. It's the ability to weave together. It's the ability to adapt. It's the ability to recognize the courtesy of accommodation, right? The adaptability is what is forming a lot of these partnerships at this time, and working through that clumsiness, but seeing someone that is working into a space of clumsiness that is perpetually calibrating, right? Making those adjustments, fine tuning, the ability to fine tune, the ability to identify something that you could make better. This is why we see that these are energies right now healing wounds of trust, because even in the space of being able to articulate a frustration to another and not have someone run away in the face of frustration. This is the energy that is seeing and potentially healing in the process from experiences wherein they were in partnership more for the sake of another person's inspiration. And how can we sometimes identify when someone is coming towards us simply for inspiration? When we try to be when we try to articulate frustration, when we try to articulate a need, the energy moves away from us because they say that's not very inspiring of you, right? It's like that's not very dream girl or dream boy. That's not very like what the imagination would like to see, right? But when we're building in the space of reality, when we're trying to make the dream real, we don't get like we don't build distaste towards seeing another person come to us from a point of frustration. We see the reality of another, and it's being able to see that reality, to be able to recognize and identify it, to be able to build towards it. This is the energy that almost feels the space of the difference between someone who is searching for a dream versus someone that is actively building it, right? Because there was a lot of lessons that we saw during that full moon in Libra, no, the full moon in Virgo that was prior to this one, that has to do with recognizing that perfect is not found. It is something that we make together. This same message is coming through for energy coming into divine union right now. Because for a lot of the energy that we see that is coming into divine union, that adaptability, that accommodation point, that recognition of being able to see something from the past about the self that you couldn't see before, but being able to calibrate for it, not allowing it to be a moment of devastation, but setting of the intention. This is the energy that is feeling even more closely held in the embrace of the counterpart, because these are the energies that are weaving those intentions together, right? It feels like the observation of how much they have changed in partnership, but it doesn't feel like a forced change. It feels like a blossoming. It feels like a transformation. It feels like a transformation of the self, because it is the ability to see what one aspires to with even deeper clarity that is matched by the counterpart that also sees one in the same way. And there's something very beautiful about that, because there's a lot of energy right now coming into divine union that's healing wounds of intimacy in the process, healing the space of making someone feel that they had to be perfect in order to be loved. While for masculine and feminine energy right now, deep within divine union, I just keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy deep within divine union right now, this is interesting, because while we see that there's a lot of transformation that is happening right now for energy, I keep on seeing again, and this has been a message that's been coming through. The energy in separation is working through transmutation. The energy right now coming into divine union is working on transformation. And the energy deep within divine union is working on fermentation. And what do we see with fermentation? Being able to articulate why something is important to the self. Recognizing the difference between stubbornness, something we hold on to. Remember, bringing in some of those lessons that we saw during the Mars retrograde cycle, not working on things that we insist on. But again, being able to identify the vitality point on the things that we insist on as it relates to our ability to explain through them. Because when we can explain through something that has importance to us, we're able to find that exquisite insistence point. It helps us see our higher self. But when we have those moments that we hold on to something and we're just stubborn about it, but we can't say why, just don't like it. That's usually a good indicator that it's the ego. And the ego is not something that we need to shed entirely, but we check it to make sure that the ego is one that we can be energetically proud of. The ability to recognize, to do that work, to identify our own blind spots that help us understand the self even further. And so I keep on seeing that there's a lot of that energy deep within divine union, kind of moving through the process of both introspection and articulation. It feels a lot like Renaissance energy, because it's being able to find the words and land upon something that may have felt like it was evading or escaping you. Welcome to Mercury waking up behind Neptune. That is where we find all of the energy prior to beginning today's daily collective read. Now, if you'd like to find any of that full reading, you can find it over on the place where I keep the videos. You can also find it on the place where we keep the photos. You can also find it over as a podcast over at Tarot Church or over on my Substack. That said, we are going to get started on today's daily collective read in the next few minutes. But if you would like to get on the list for a personal reading today, the list, as always, is open. As always, it is 3 cards for a donation of 28 or more, 4 cards for a donation of 22 or more for my subscribers, links in my bio. Please keep in mind there are 2 things I do not read across these apps: pregnancy and medical. Happy to give insight on anything in private readings, and you can book private readings on my site. We do dream interpretation readings here, life path readings, past life readings, pet readings, highest priority messages from spirit, angelic guidance readings. We also do mediumship readings, love readings. The only things we do not read for here are pregnancy and medical. If you're going to get on the list for a dream reading or for a high or for a past life reading, or if you have relevant information you'd like to share with me, I encourage you to send it when you send the donation to not have to hit the character limit that happens in the comments. Or if you are a subscriber to our clock app, you can head over to our subscriber only Discord channel and you can put it there in the channels we have dedicated to those areas. Hi there, Kimmy. How are you doing today? And good to see you as well, Heather. Kay, I was feeling frustrated leading up to the moon, but now it's just strange. Not good, not bad. I mean, that's what I told you about some of that calibration energy right now, like that Libra is like Libra energy. It's working through the vibe of it. It's a little it's high tuned, you know? It's emotional. I know it's emotional because it has to do with the fact that Mercury is waking up behind Neptune. Good to see you today, Lay. Hi, Bridget. Good to see you, dear. And Dada, I'm about a 7, but the other day 3 is me getting in my own way. Listen, a change from a 3 to a 7 is incredible. Let's hold it 7. You know, keep on working on that 7 right now, Dada. Oh, good to see you as well, Catherine. Welcome, Bridget. I feel okay with this moon energy, not feeling as bad as the eclipses. I know those eclipses were very rough. And I think that Libra, Venus, Mercury. Yeah, and well, yeah, I mean, again, if you're Libra, Venus for Mercury, like the fact that they were they were retrograding during the eclipse, it's hard. It was really, it was a very focused towards the self, a lot of overthinking, right? And thank you as well, Bridget, for sharing the live. Always appreciate when you guys share the live. A good kind of limbo. I like that. That's what I mean by catharsis. 40 minutes till work. Glad I caught you. I'm so glad as well, eh? TSB, it was rough, but getting better. 24 degrees, Libra sun. You know, I feel like there are some signs right now that, and I keep on describing this too. Um, TSB, like coming out of the doldrums of this eclipse, like everybody talks about the lead up into the eclipse. We got to talk about the come down. I always feel like every time I do readings, like the come down coming out of the eclipse is much harder than being within them, right? Because that's what we talk about, like working in that space of just like having feeling an even keel. Hi there. Unfortunately, Kay, unfortunately, it's not the time or place for the hamster filter. It's just not. I mean, as adorable as it is, it's not the vibe that we need here today. Maybe I'll come on later. I'll be in the hamster filter. I joined the live for Gray and got a hamster. Hello. V, I read, "Where were you last night?" In my dream. I watched myself text the words. Oh, V, I'd be very interested in reading for that dream if you'd like to get on the list, because that says to me the fact that you texted those words would say to me that it's potentially a message from your higher self. Like that's what I find intriguing about that. Same, it was gold. I love it, Kay. Bridget, I'm always slow dancing with my divine counterpart in a kitchen. Oh, I adore that. I absolutely adore that. Grand Rising, Little Vamp, good to see you today. Abundant and nourishing like food. Ooh, I love that. Yep, that's what that feels like. I like the fact that it's in a kitchen, right? Because it's serving both needs. And Grand Rising, Little, maybe. I wonder what the dancing means then. No, you're vibing. It's the fact it's the idea. It's I feel like it's making it's the kitchen is a place you make things. So making something but also dancing through it. Like it's the ability to make and also to feel the joy in making. Yeah, dancing feels like a lean into unity and having trust in each other to be free or spirited together. Beautifully said, Kay. And Bridget, thank you for sharing the live. V, I've decided to let go with some friendships. Hold on a minute. And see where they ebb and flow naturally. I think listen, that's a very good thing to do during this Libra full moon. You know what I mean? Just kind of coming into that space of like, um, you know, not holding on to things tightly. Like I would not be surprised if energy is just in that space. Like, and again, I want to say it's working towards surrender, but not the surrender of letting go. it's not insisting on things, just kind of letting things be the way that they are, if that makes sense. And that doesn't, and I need to point this out too, it's also, it's not that, and we saw this in the reading that we did on Friday. It's like putting, like applying and like working in the space of putting energetic pressure on things, but not forcing things. You know what I mean? Like one of the things we saw that was in the reading the other day that was beautiful was like the conversation related to the gentle touch, which is again something that you like, the gentle touch of courtesy that articulates like the direction that you would like something to move into, but not pushing into it, if that makes sense. And Rich, thank you for the follow. I love that perspective of the chariot card, completely changes how I see it. Thank you, Kay. And I try to teach it because I feel like out of a lot of the cards that I teach upon, there's often, I get a lot of confusion as it relates to the symbology of that card and the fact that it does feel like something about the depiction is incongruous. Speaking of of my tarot classes, I would like to invite all of you. We are going to be having our next tarot class this upcoming Wednesday at 6 p.m. PST, 9 p.m. Eastern. We are going to be continuing our studies into the tarot with a focus on the Wheel of Fortune card. I mean, the Wheel of Fortune card, not the Wheel of Fortune card. We've done the Wheel of Fortune card on the Hangman card. If you would like to become a part of that tarot class program, all you need to do is head over to my Substack and become a paid subscriber. Your paid subscription to my Substack is your ticket of entry into our live classes each and every month. You will also, as a monthly paid subscriber, have access to over 9 hours worth of material in the Tarot Church Library archive. Now, it's not necessary to catch up. I do my best to give you guys as much information as possible on what we've studied in each class, but the material is there for you to receive when you're ready to receive it. You will also have access to a one-on-one chat with me and the other students to ask any questions that you may have in relation to anything that we are learning or have currently studied. And if you become a founding member to my Substack, not only will you receive a discount on the full year's worth of classes, you will also receive a complimentary one-on-one mentorship class with me, wherein I will assess where you are on your tarot church journey and give you the best updates in terms of how to utilize those classes and your personal practice to the best of your advantage, moving towards your personal tarot goals. One of the things I tried to do in these classes was make them accessible to the absolute novice tarot reader as well as the seasoned reader. There's definitely something there for everyone. Don't let your lack of experience or your robust experience prevent you from joining us in these classes. And even if you don't become a paid subscriber, and you'll also have access as a founding member to over 12 hours worth of material in the Tarot Church Library, because you will have full access to the Tarot Church Library, which is an ever-growing library. And as well, even if you already have experience in the tarot, I've built these classes to be perfect for both the novice reader as well as the seasoned reader. So don't let your lack of experience or your robust experience prevent you from joining us in these classes. And even if you don't become a paid subscriber to my Substack, I would encourage you to follow me there to stay up to date on any new offerings or services. I also post my weekly newsletter there, which will let you know about my in-person events as well as my online live schedule. And I'll also let you guys, you'll also be able to find there each day's podcast of each day's reading, along with the photo from each day's spread. I also want to let you guys know that on top of my standard life path readings, I also offer mentorship classes. These are for any of my clients seeking a more personalized educational experience with me. I take a very limited number of students for this reason, as those classes are focused on each individual's personal spiritual goals and journey work. Those classes can be purchased on an individual level or as a monthly class series, weekly or bi-weekly as your schedule permits. Also, for my clients seeking more consistent weekly tarot support, I'm very happy to offer weekly tarot insight packages. That is a package of 4 30-minute readings, again, weekly or bi-weekly as your schedule permits, so that you can stay more consistent on your personal journey. I'm also very happy to now offer dream interpretation readings. You can purchase them per dream or as a series. I would encourage, if you purchase the series package that you make sure that you start to keep a dream journal, as we will meet weekly or bi-weekly with that journal and utilize the tarot to understand the key themes and messages coming towards you in the dream space. That said, we are going to get started on today's daily collective read in the next few minutes. If you guys could do me a favor and share this live, I would appreciate it. Make sure anyone who wants to be here live to be here to receive it. We'll be here to receive it. I'm also going to take a minute to read over some of the comments that came through as I was giving those recaps. All right. And Little Vamp, thank you so much for those hearts. Kay, I love the perspective of that, and thank you as well, dear. And Bridget, thank you for those gifts. My ex-partner and I were travelers. I had a dream we were traveling again. Wow, that's absolutely beautiful, Kay. It sounds like a karmic dream. And thank you, my sweet, for the subscribing. And Carrie, thank you for the follow. Thank you, Bridget, as well. Hi there, Louise. Thank you for those roses. And thank you as well, Dada, for sharing the live. Always appreciate when you guys share the live. Hi there, Team Lasana. So good to see you. Hi there, baby. Thank you for the follow. Little Vamp, I went to a hockey game last night and feel energetically drained from all the people around me. I get it. It can be exhaustive. There's a lot of keyed up energy at hockey games and a lot of aggression. And thank you for sharing the live, Dada. Lynn, I had a dream that I found a lost or hidden messages from someone I cherish and cried after I woke up. Wow. That's a beautiful dream, Lynn. And I have to say, given where we see the energy right now, remembering a lot of the idea, like a lot of what we talked about, Mercury waking up behind Neptune, the ability of finding things of sentiment is very like it feels very much in alignment with what we're feeling energetically right now. And it's interesting that you're finding those things in the dream space. Is 28 to do a dream reading? Yes, the 28 is the donation amount for anyone who's a non-subscriber, and you'll get 3 cards. For those who are subscribers, it is 22, and you get 4 cards, if that helps me. Thank you for clarifying. And Uni, 3. How all you have to do, Uni, it's 3 cards for a donation of 28, and you can send it via my tree that has binks in it in my bio. And whoever is the first person on the list each day always receives an additional card in your reading that is available as well. Thank you. And if you would like a recording, if you are asking about having a recording of your reading, if you're interested in receiving a recording, all you need to do is email me at Strega at the mail that has a G in it. And when you do so, just mention the date of the reading and your name, and I will go and I can make you a custom video and send it directly to your inbox. You're so welcome, V. Good to see you, Anne. Hope you're having a beautiful day. And Grand Rising. Thank you for the help, Kay. Guys, please thank Kay for all their help today. Let me know. Absolutely. And Dada, thank you for sharing the live. Always appreciate when you guys share the live. Sending money right now for God. Thank you, V, for confirming. I'll confirm that you're on the list. And thank you again, my sweet lemons, for subscribing. Thank you as well, Anne, for those stars. I'm sorry I can't stay today. It's okay, V. I'm going to a soma therapy sessions class soon. That sounds fantastic. I hope it goes well. And again, just a reminder, if you missed today's reading, you can find it over on the place where we keep the videos and also on the place where we keep the photos. And as I mentioned, friends, we are going to get started on today's daily collective read. Before we do so, thank you so much, Vic V, for getting on the list. You will be the first person read for today. If anyone else wants to get on the list right now, you'll be the second person read for. V, if you want to send me over the details of the dream, I would encourage you can either do it directly out from the place where you sent the donation, or are you a subscriber? Because if you're a subscriber, you can I don't believe, oh yeah, that's probably the best way of doing it. And that way I can read it from there, because I know sometimes putting the details of a dream in the comments here can be a little overwhelming. That said, if anyone else wants to get on the list right now, you'll be the second person read for. We're also doing 2 contests today. The first contest we'll be doing a giveaway when we get to 50K likes. We are already at 10K, so make sure you're tapping that screen. We'll get to 50K in no time, and we'll have that drawing for the reading. We're also doing a giveaway right now of a free reading for whoever gives the highest gift between now and the conclusion of the daily collective read. So I wish you a lot of luck in winning that as well. That said, no better time than the present. Why don't we get started? Welcome, everyone. Happy Sunday. I'm the Grace Strega, and I'm here to give you your daily collective read for today, Sunday, April 13th, 2025. What do we have coming through in the cards for today? May I please have the first two cards in our 5-card spread? First two cards we are starting our day off with today are, we've got here the Queen of Pentacles in its upright in combination with our Strength card. So, one of the things I think that we're seeing that's happening right now, particularly with a lot of this energy coming into this Libra full moon, and I want to describe this, and I think that there's something very elegant about what we're seeing astrologically right now, is we just came out of a very rough energetic cycle, particularly and especially due to the fact that we went through not only an eclipse, but we went through an eclipse at the same time as we were navigating a Venus retrograde on top of a Mercury retrograde. So, what we effectively see that occurs in those moments or in those modalities is having to work through a lot of over focus on the self, right? We talked a lot about the fact that Mercury, the Venus retrograde cycles make it very easy to have to navigate through visual distortions, right? Seeing things that feel like they're directed towards the self, or only seeing things from the optics of the self. At the same time, going through Mercury retrograde cycles, things that feel like they're breaking or coming apart in the process. Working through that context, not allowing oneself to feel broken, but instead appreciating the journey of discovery on what it is that one is working towards. There's a lot of catharsis there. There's a lot of healing. There's a lot of adaptability. But at the same time, a lot of this energy that we're experiencing right now, it feels like incubation energy, right? It's giving a lot of that, like, pardon our appearance. It's giving a lot of that space of recognizing the tenderness and the delicacy by which we navigate change. And it's not, and it's interesting too, because there's a lot of conversation here, specifically around the vitality of concentrated, focused, incremental effort, right? This is very important right now. And one of the reasons I keep on seeing that this is so important, I'm going to say it's especially important for the energy and separation, is, and I keep on seeing the difference between the energetic cycles that feel more like they're built or based upon bursts of activation, right? Something that isn't necessarily wrong, but in the fact that it's not stable, that is where the difficulty is. Versus energy that is building forth into chariot partnerships right now. And why are these chariot partnerships? Because they're working through coming into the partnership by means of recognizing the stabilizing force of small, consistent effort, right? And that doesn't feel exhaustive. It feels foundational. It feels directional, because that ability of doing something and that ability of being consistent in the things we do, this is how we build a vibe. I keep on saying this is how we build a vibe, but more so than that, this is how we build a habit. This is how we build a routine. This is how we build a practice, right? It's not about doing something in a big way and then having to, like, do it in a big way again and again and again. It's the beautiful symmetry of small incremental insistence. I'm going to say that again. The beautiful symmetry of small incremental insistence. Because when we and why are they saying small incremental insistence? Because when we build an energetic standard for ourselves, that's effectively what we do. It's the small incremental insistence in being able to be energetically sustainable insofar of what we are creating for ourselves. And that ability of doing so, that patience that we give ourselves, right? The catharsis that we find in appreciating how far we can come via small, focused effort. I keep on seeing that there's a lot of this energy right now that is like, some of these new partnerships are starting to gain momentum. Some of these new partnerships are starting to build into strength, right? And it's not, I keep on saying, it's not a firework. It feels like a campfire, right? It's that work that we do that allows for that easement of determination. Now, there's a lot of patience that I'm seeing right now, particularly for energy in separation, because that fabric of consistency that we build for one another, I keep on seeing that there's something like I keep on hearing this, like something about the energy and separation, feeling the glow, as it were. And why are they calling it, like, why is it the glow? Because the glow that they're feeling is they're like, I keep on feeling like the fragile heart that has been that often closes down when they're more in a space of receiving bursts is starting to come back into itself again. It's starting to remember how to feel. Because here's the thing, and this is what I keep on seeing that's happening right now for a lot of energy and separation. And we talked a lot about this in the last reading. When we get a lot of something, but it's not consistent, even if it's good, it can feel like an even worse shock to our system, right? Because what happens when we have something that is really good, but it isn't consistent? It creates energetic withdrawal, right? We go through those moments that it feels like, it almost makes things energetically worse. So everything I keep on seeing for a lot of the energy and separation, I keep on hearing that this is energy right now building into new partnerships, healing from energy that was relationships that were more built on inspiration. And what is a hallmark of energy that is built on inspiration? It's more bursts of activation, right? It's not necessarily that there's something wrong. It's actually the problem that it's too good, but it's not consistent. Often, when a relationship is in a space that it's too good, but it's not consistent, it's almost worse than if it wasn't good at all. Because at least if something isn't good and it's consistent, it leaves you in a space of knowing when to expect. But when you're in a space that you're trying to build into something that is more inspirational, so you have these bursts of activation, but without the constancy of it, it creates this, like I keep on seeing, like it creates trauma. It creates the trauma of having to navigate a shock to the system, right? And this is energy that is learning to be surprised again, right? Because remembering a shock to the system isn't a surprise. A shock, you can still be energetically surprised in a space of consistency. So, everything I keep on seeing here, this is why there's so much potential frustration that's being released in some of these energetic connections, because it is like it's working through understanding that, and I keep on hearing, and this is what we talk about feels good is good, that something that is nourishing to us is something that is energetically constant, because it is in its sustainability that it allows us a landscape to be able to predicate upon what we can expect. Now, center card for today's spread, and this is going to get into the energy that's coming into divine union. We've got here a lot of that Ace of Swords energy. So everything I keep on seeing, like particularly and especially right now with a lot of this Ace of Swords energy, I like to like I think this is beautiful, because this is working in the context of a lot of that energetic balance in relationality to the Libra energy that we're experiencing right now. Now, what's nice about Libra energy? Working through Libra energy, and we talked about this, there was a lot of that space about adapting to and recognizing and working through the context of regulation of the self. And what do we talk about when we talk about regulation of the self? It's not building into the context of feeling. And this is a bit of the gift that we're receiving right now, right? One of the gifts that we're receiving right now with the fact that Mercury is stationed behind Neptune is the ability to, I keep on feeling, being able to separate the emotions from the higher self, right? The ability to see something with clarity, not allowing, like the ability to feel the emotions, but not feel overwhelmed by the emotions. This is why this is also chariot energy right now, because what do we see in the chariot card that we talk a lot about? The chariot energy has to deal with navigating the forces of both the higher self and the energetic ego, right? That's why we have the two forces that are in front of the Chariot card. But when we're in that space and we know ourselves and we're able to see that point, it allows us to navigate in a space that we feel, again, emotionally, like emotionally strong, but logically sound, right? It's not the separation point of the emotion. It's not like moving fully tilt towards how the emotions feel. It's not removing oneself from the logic of the self, but it's finding that meeting point between the two that allows for a lot of that clarity as it relates to direction. And that's what I keep on seeing that is beneficial right now in some of these partnerships that are coming towards each other. I keep on seeing the refreshing relief in knowing the direction that something is going, right? And when there is clarity in the knowing the direction something's going, then you don't need to fixate and worry about it. You allow that glow to begin, the healing of intimacy, because you can enjoy the journey. You can enjoy, it's like you can enjoy how you feel. You can enjoy being on the journey together because you're not constantly perseverating about where the direction is headed. Now, for a lot of the energy right now coming into divine union, this is why I just keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy in that space. Oh, having to, I feel like there's something about the energy coming into divine union right now that is looking back at the past with frustration, potentially even like frustration towards the self. But I keep on saying it's reaffirming frustration. And why? Because when we're energetically frustrated, it allows us to refocus our attention. It allows us to reorient, if you will. So everything I keep on seeing here to a certain extent is this is the energy that isn't allowing themselves to feel like borne down under the weight of regret, but almost letting the regret refocus and set the intention. As I mentioned, it's incubation energy. While for masculine and feminine deep within divine union right now, two cards, please. Yeah, there's that world card in its reversal in combination with our seven of pentacles in its reversal. And everything I keep on seeing here to a certain extent, you know, I want to identify this. I kind of want to recognize this. There's something, and I feel like this, it feels, I feel that the one thing that I'm identifying here that is um like and I keep like there's something, how do I describe this? It has to do, I keep on saying it has to do with the fact that Mercury has woken up behind Neptune, right? The ability to see something from a place of objectivity, but also to communicate your feelings upon it. Like there's a lot of that clarity of intention and the communication of emotion that is allowing for a lot of, I keep on seeing clear effort, if you will. And that's why I keep on seeing that there's a lot of that work that's being navigated in relationality to something that I see specifically around, I keep on saying gentle touches. And what do we mean by a gentle touch? The gentle touch that we give to one another, that when we're trying to move something in a direction, which is courteous. And that's why I keep on hearing the gentle touch is courteous, because the courtesy that we give one another in offering the direction that we'd like to move something in, but not energetically forcing something, coming into that space that allows for that adaptability point. I keep on seeing that there is some work that's happening right now for energy deep within divine union. And it has to do with being able, and I keep on hearing the same message, extending the olive branch, but not cutting down the tree. What does that mean? It means that when we offer something to another with the desire of where we want it to go, we don't force that energetic intention on another, right? We articulate it as in such a way that we give them the opportunity to identify and recognize how they want to proceed upon it. So there's something very beautiful about that, but there's also a lot of that energy that is doing so because of identifying, potentially even around situations where they may have experienced some stubbornness in the past, right? Which has to do with, again, working in spaces where someone's energetically rigid but isn't necessarily inclined to explain the reasons why. Continuing to get clarification between our Queen of Pentacles in its upright in combination with our Strength card in its upright. One card to clarify, please. Clarification coming through right now. We've got our Emperor card here. I absolutely love seeing these two cards in confluence to each other, because this is very, and I feel like a lot of this has to do, and I like this too, because there's something that we're going to be recognizing. It's the re-entry into Aries energy, if that makes sense. I want to describe this. Remember what I said about the fact that Venus and Mercury pulled back into Pisces once they were in, once they were in Aries. And this has a bit to do with what I was saying about recognizing and identifying if you feel like you navigated through this eclipse well, because it's not that you can't move with intentional effort during eclipses, but that's why I was really articulating during this period to make sure that you weren't taking something personally. Because coming out of the eclipse, like usually a good hallmark of knowing if you come out of the eclipses and you're still like you were in an even keel through the eclipse, is coming into that space of saying, I said what I said. Right? You know what I mean? Like if you say something or you feel something in the eclipse cycle and you're able to still feel the holding of it outside of the eclipse, then that usually means that you are moving with intention during the eclipse. But that's why, again, not allowing oneself to be triggered, not allowing oneself to take things personally during the eclipse cycle. You know, I was trying to save you guys a reading, coming to me being like, I don't know why I said that. Be like, I do. The eclipse got to you. You know what I mean? Like the eclipse got to you. But I keep on seeing that there's something about this right now that's allowing for a lot of that energy that feels fortifying. It feels reaffirming, because I need to point this out. Even in this space, I need to point, and when we are good with ourselves, we don't, I keep on seeing, when we feel good in our intention, then we never regret articulating through frustration. Because again, the ability to identify, and this is why I keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy right now coming into these new relationships, simply being able to articulate a frustration and not have someone walk away at that moment, not have someone say, like, not be like, oh, that's very ugly of you to like be frustrated, or that's not very like that's not very dream of you, right? This is a lot of the energy, and this is why I see that there's a lot of frustration that is being communicated, because when we build into the context of someone's performative self, we don't allow for the authenticity of the self to to exist, right? That's often why we have those moments and someone expresses our frustration and they say, like, oh, you're not who I expected you to be, because it's the identification of the illusion, right? And when we build in illusory ways with one another, we're not ready to navigate, like, the I keep on seeing the tangibility point in the difference between, I keep on seeing, desiring perfect and making perfect. Perfect is never found. We talk a lot about this here. Perfect is a cardinal direction. It's something that we strive towards. It's always a little bit out of our reach. And that's why when we navigate that with a sense of compassion for the self, we give it to those around us. So I was articulating, making sure that you were leading forth through this retrograde with a sense of compassion. But when we work in that context here, in that space, this is why I keep on hearing, like, there's energy right now building relationships and saying it's such a relief. It's such a relief. Why is the energy saying it's such a relief? Because this is the energy that's saying it's such a relief to be able to be in my authenticity around you, not feeling like one has to perform the act of the self, right? Because often when we're in those burst relationships, or energy that's only in the space of desiring to come towards us to be energetically inspired, it doesn't leave us room to be authentic, because when we articulate our frustration, we're breaking the dream of another, right? We're breaking the dream of what another person idealizes us as being energetically perfect upon. And this is why there's something about this energy here that feels, I keep on seeing, it's like, I feel like a lot of these partnerships are, I want to describe this, disillusioned in the best way possible. But I need to stress this, it's because they're not building upon, they're not being romantic to each other. They're excited about what they can create together, right? This is like building blocks energy. This is a lot of, like, I keep on seeing, like, the energy that understands the practicality is romantic. The stabilization point is the dream, right? They're not in that space of, like, I keep on hearing, like, there's some energy right now, like, moving away from energetic drama to a certain extent, recognizing that drama is based upon energy that's looking more for, like, the emotional rush of relationship, as opposed to the stabilizing nourishment of what feels like it's healthy and supportive to the self, right? And that's why I keep on seeing there's so much of that. Like, I keep on hearing it's like it's griping energy, but it's positive griping, because this is the energy that like almost gripes and laughs at each other, and like says it's such a relief to be in the presence of someone that I can share those feelings with. Continuing to get clarification between our strength card in combination with our ace of swords in its upright. It's solidarity, especially with this seven of, I keep on seeing here, this seven of swords in its reversal. It's solidarity that's coming through right now with a lot of this, this Libra full moon energy, because the solidarity that we're effectively recognizing and around circumstances or situations here, I just keep on identifying that these are I keep on just, this is the solidarity of the self, right? And the thing is, when we build into the context of authenticity and solidarity of the self, um, I keep on seeing it's understanding what our assignments are. It's recognizing where the work is. It's being able to not feel that the space of heavy regret, but almost immediately moving it into the context of setting the intention going forward. So that's why I keep on seeing that there's something about this, like, energy here that feels very practical. It feels very clearing, because this is the energy that isn't, like, agonizing on the past, but being very practical about what they can do in the present. While for masculine and feminine energy right now, deep within divine union, common clarification between our ace of swords and our world card in its reversal. May I please have one card to clarify? Clarification coming through right now with our eight of pentacles in its upright. And something about this here, this is stabilizing. There's something here that feels incredibly, I keep on, like, um it feels like busy energy, but it feels like busy energy in productive ways. And that's why I keep on seeing that there's a lot of this energy right now that is not, and I keep on seeing, like, a little bit of that practicality is not getting overly concerned about how one feels, right? And that's why I keep on seeing for the energy deep within divine union, almost saying around situations, feelings have nothing to do with it. Why? Because when something's important to us, we don't just hold on to it because we have a lot of feelings on it. We're able to identify the reasons why. And that's why I keep on hearing that this is energy that is, like, working on like focusing on the reasons why, not just focusing on the emotional feelings, right? A lot of communication here. Clarification between our world card in its reversal in combination with our seven of pentacles in its reversal. May I have one card to clarify? Clarification coming through right now. I like this. We've got our eight of cups in its reversal, right? I keep on hearing that for energy deep within divine union, better, not bitter, right? It's a lot of that. And I keep on seeing, like, it's a lot of that, like, we gotta talk about this. So, there's something I even see here that I keep on hearing that has to do with the fact, when we harbor bitterness to things, it it doesn't bring anything positive, right? It sits within us. It almost like it's like it energetically, I keep on seeing this, like it energetically festers. You know what I mean? Like that's why we keep on seeing that, working in the context of, and we talk a lot about this, you know, working in the context of healing isn't is not a journey of letting everything go. It's not the journey that says, "Oh, I have to, cleanse myself of everything." It's the journey of understanding the meaning of the things that we hold on to, right? Because it's in that space that we're able to articulate and identify and understand the things that are not okay or do not sit well within us, that either give us one or two directives. They give us the ability to see something in another that we do not agree to, right? Something that we identify and we're able to say, something I recognize there was something that I determined was not in alignment with my higher self. Or they're moments that allow for the context or the exploration of the self, saying, that's something that I could do better. That's something that I can change. So that ability, I keep on seeing the ability to disassemble the things that we hold on to be able to articulate why they are precious and important to us. It doesn't require, and this is what we talk about, surrender isn't about surrendering everything. It's surrendering things that we insist on, which is things that we hold on to, but we don't know why. Because often when we don't know why, it's because it's holding, like that's the ego holding on to something that it doesn't want to look at within the self. Right. And so that's why I keep on seeing that this can be difficult for energy deep within divine union, because if they're doing that work together and there's energy that's more in that point of resistance, you can't force someone into that space. That's why I keep on seeing there's a lot of that gentle touch energy to articulate and identify what feels like it can become more energetically restorative, but not forcing things. Continuing to get clarification between our Emperor card in combination with our Seven of Swords in its reversal. One card to clarify. Clarification coming through right now with our Knight of Cups. This is beautiful. These are some beautiful cards today. I keep on seeing that for energy coming into divine union, um, like for the energy coming into divine union right now, there's a lot of, I keep on seeing an expression of feeling. I keep on seeing there's like a lot of this space in being able to articulate appreciation for one another. And there's something really valuable and important about that, because something I keep on seeing that's occurring there as it relates to the sentimentality of things, everything I keep on seeing, like this is the energy that says to one another, you have no idea the impact that you have on me. And the energy is almost like I don't do anything. And the energy says, yes, you do. Because through you, I see myself more clearly, right? Because often the gift that we receive in partnership is the gift of clear seeing, the clarity of recognizing ourselves and the clarity of being seen, that identification point that helps us calibrate and set our intentions. And even when we feel like we're not matching our own standard, the ability of identifying what we can do to change something. I keep on seeing that this is the energy that feels like they almost feel like they're moving into that space of having that breakthrough, right? The breakthrough is the identification point of what you are aspiring to do differently. Now, for masculine and feminine energy, and I keep on hearing like the gift that the energy is having in divine union is, again, not via the energetic constancy that they're creating for one another, is giving the energy the clarity of being able not to focus so much on the journey of coming into partnership. Because when we have the partnership that's stable, that stabilization point, it allows us to see more because we're not having to constantly put our attention towards it. While for masculine and feminine energy right now, in separation, I keep on hearing there's a lot of energy saying this is a start of something beautiful, right? It's clumsy. Like this is the energy that says this is very clumsy, but I think that this is the start of something beautiful because beautiful things start in clumsy ways. Why do beautiful things start in clumsy ways? Because the clumsiness is the courtesy. The clumsiness is the care, right? The clumsiness is working in such a way and trying to do something like differently that almost feels like a release and a relief because this is the energy that's learning as they go. Continuing to get clarification between our seven of swords in its reversal in combination with our eight of pentacles in its upright. Can I get one card to clarify, please? Clarification coming through right now with the ace of pentacles in its reversal. And that's really beautiful to a certain extent too, because I have to stress this. I want you, if you have a moment, if you're joining us, make sure you take time to, if you're following the podcast, make sure you take time to look at today's spread over on our Substack, because we've got double pentacle energy. We've got double pentacle energy that's coming through right now. And so there's something really beautiful about that, because I just keep on seeing that there's a lot of that identification point as it relates to um not and this is why I keep on seeing that this is a moment that may be feeling like a breakthrough, but also a lot of frustration that is being communicated for energy that is in separation. Because I keep on seeing, if this is energy that is starting to build someone with someone, that they're seeing the absolute beauty of small consistent effort, it's giving all of the clarity, if you will, on what wasn't that. It's giving all of the clarity in relation. It's almost like I keep on hearing the energy that feels the relief and release of the past relationship or the past experience via the understanding the difference between someone that comes towards us more from a place of energetic inspiration, those bursts, if you will, right? Versus building into the context of stabilization. So everything that I'm seeing there, like I just keep on identifying that there's something very profound and beautiful that is occurring in those moments, specifically and particularly because, and this is why I keep on seeing that this is the energy that feels the refreshing breath of being able to converse with another person authentically, and someone not running away from them in the process because they're no longer matching their idea of who they desire to be. Like, because again, when someone's building towards us only from the space of their own indulgence point and we try to be authentic to them, that often will repel them because they'll be like, that's not very dream of you. Right? While for masculine and feminine that are coming into divine union, I keep on seeing that this is the energy that keeps on saying like that point of appreciation to one another, because this is the energy that says when we don't need to worry about what it is we have with one another, it frees our hands to create. When we're not having to constantly worry about what we're building together, then it leaves us the ability to see ourselves with more clarity. So it's almost like an evolution point that energy right now is receiving coming into divine union, because this is the energy that feels like they're in a partnership that is sustainable enough that it gives them the ability to concentrate on evolving the self. Continuing to get clarification for energy deep within divine union, we see a lot of the energy deep within divine union right now. This is the energy that is, I can see some energy right now deep within divine union working. Like this is like, I have to say, like this, like the most frustrated energy right now is the energy deep within divine union. And this is just to give you an indication point as it relates to the fact that it's not that one of these places is better or worse than the other. Because I keep on seeing that when we're working through lessons of fermentation, we hold firm on things. We hold firm on things. We hold firm on things. But when we're doing that properly, we're not stubborn. We hold firm on things because we're able to articulate and amplify why they're important to us. Right? And so I keep on seeing that there's a lot of that space of communication. There's a lot of that articulation there. And I keep on seeing that this is the energy that's not allowing themselves to be frustrated, but almost channeling that frustration into conversation that feels energetically productive, right? And identifying and recognizing what feels like, I can see some energy right now deep within divine union, doing the work and identifying and recognizing what can heal, like what has moved into a space that it can heal versus something that is still energetically resistant, or someone who's just energetically hard. Like, like when you have those moments, you can't change it. That's why I keep on hearing for the energy deep within divine union. I keep on hearing extending the olive branch, but not cutting down the tree, right? Like not cutting down the tree of the self. When we're trying to build into the space of trying to heal something, we give compassion to it, but regulated compassion. Continuing to get clarification between our Eight of Pentacles in combination with our Eight of Cups in its reversal. A lot of eight energy today, a lot of seven energy, but we've got three different eights on the table today because we've also got the Strength card out. And we've got the Strength card, which is an eight card. We've got the Eight of Pentacles. We've also got the Eight of Cups in its reversal. One card to clarify, please. Clarification coming through right now with the Nine of Swords. So, one of the things that we're seeing right now with the Nine of Swords, there's something to do with catharsis here. It has to do with catharsis. And I keep on hearing, I want to describe something that I'm seeing that is happening right now for energy deep within divine union. And it has to do, I keep on seeing, it has to do with path work as it relates to articulating the amount. These are warrior lessons that are also returning back, right? Because a lot of the space that we identify and recognize in warrior lessons, it's not that, it's sometimes, and we have to talk about, like, it's not that there isn't something, and I need to stress this, it's the energy that works on the regulation of the self in the space of not forcing their energetic will upon others. And I keep on hearing, and this has been coming through like a lot over the last few days, the difference between niceness and courtesy, right? Because you can be nice and impolite. You can be forceful and nice, right? And it's often like when we experience those, discourtesy is not expressed on whether you have a smile on your face when you do something. It's discourteous to insist on things, right? And so I keep on seeing that there's a lot of conversations in relationality to the difference between courtesy and niceness, the identification point that courtesy is the authentic expression of allowing another to inhabit the space of their choice, right? Honoring choices is how we are courteous. We express courtesy and love to one another by allowing ourselves and each other to honor our choices and to embody the space of it. But often, energy that's trying to be forceful and not will be nice in the process, right? Like, then this is what we talked about the fact that when we're in a space of love, we don't force our love on others. We don't think about what it is. Like, it feels good to give. And we have to stress this. It feels good to give because sometimes when it feels good to give, that is the ego, right? Like, that is the ego that feels that space because it allows for that context of wanting to move in a space that feels energetically good. But that's why we talk about the healthy love isn't just the energetic force of love that feels good to give. It's paying attention to what another person needs, right? Not allowing what we want to give to interrupt what another person is energetically asking for. So I keep on seeing that there's a lot of that energy here, almost working through the path work of trying to articulate that to another, or not trying to be in a space of forcing things, right? It's interesting because I know it's not out here, but I feel like there's a lot of Two of Swords energy around some stuff, right, for energy deep within divine union. I would not be surprised if that card makes an appearance because that's what it feels like to a certain extent. Like, and that is also that's also an energy I often see connected to Libra as well. While for masculine and feminine energy right now, especially with it, it's also because Jupiter's in Gemini. So that I have to say, like, the Jupiter being in Gemini is exalting. It's exalting the Libra full moon. because it's the same. Jupiter, Libra and Gemini are very much in the same space as it relates to navigating differences and working between them. So that's why I keep on seeing that this is the energy that's working through the difference of being able to tell the difference between things that are energetically stubborn versus again the exquisite insistence point of holding on and being able to articulate upon something because of its intrinsic value or meaning. While for continuing to get clarification here between our, yeah, and like again, and between our Knight of Cups energy and our Ace of Pentacles. One card to clarify, please. This is great because I just keep on seeing, and the funny thing about it is it feels like breakthroughs in the realms of authenticity. It feels like breakthroughs that are happening right now in the realms of authenticity. And why am I seeing this? Remember, I said that there was a lot of that work that we were identifying as it relates to Renaissance energy. Being able to speak towards things in such a way that, and I keep on seeing, that's why I keep on hearing, why are these a lot of lessons working on authenticity? And this is the energy that's saying feelings have nothing to do with it. Why are we seeing that to a certain extent? Because, and I keep on like, when we, and I know this is going to sound paradoxical, but when we understand ourselves, we feel our feelings, but we communicate through them. We don't act upon our energetic urges. We don't allow for that calibration point of like moving in directions that are oppositional to our own intention. We talk through them. And I keep on seeing that there's a lot of energy right now building into healthy partnership, but healing from experiences where it felt like another person was in a relationship based solely upon their whims. And the way we can often tell when energy is in a relationship built upon their whims is there's no consistency there, right? It feels like the wind. It feels like the wind. It comes and it goes. You're waiting for it. You're waiting. It's like a kite. You're like, when? You can't build a relationship off kite energy. You can't build a relationship off whims. It's not based off whims. It's based on aspirations. It's what we affirm to one another. And so I keep on seeing that what's difficult about that is sometimes, and I keep on seeing the devastating relationship that's built on whims is almost harder to remove oneself from than any other, because it's not necessarily that there isn't something there that is bad. There just isn't enough of it. And you never know when to expect it. And it leaves you in a space that you're constantly feeling like you're waiting because you don't know, like, it's like, when's the wind going to be here? You know what I mean? Like you can't predicate it because it's waiting for another person to feel energetically inspired or inclined to be in the space of energetically arriving to the relationship. And so I keep on seeing that the breakthrough, and this is why these are chariot partnerships that are happening right now, is this is the energy that's saying to one another, I promise, and through the silent metaphor of small intentional insistence, the courtesy. Remember the same gentle touch that we see for the energy right now deep within divine union. What are these energies whispering to each other as they build towards each other? You'll never have to question who I am because my actions will show you how much you mean to me every day. That exquisite insistence of love that isn't determinative based upon how we feel, but determinative upon what the intentional effort that we put to maintain and fortify an energetic connection. While for masculine and feminine energy right now, coming into divine union, clarification between our Ace of Pentacles in its reversal in combination with our Nine of Swords in its upright. Can I please have one card to clarify? Clarification coming through. I'm not surprised to see it because I've been getting a sense that we're moving. What's interesting about this is I feel like the next energetic cycle that we're going to be building upon is going to be hermit relationships. I got to see what's coming up. I don't know why I keep seeing this, but I keep on hearing that there's something about these next energetic connections that are going to be about like hermit energy, because everything I keep on reading for is saying to me it's chariot moving into hermit. But a lot of that is having to do what's beautiful about hermit energy is being good with the self, right? Feeling right within the self, like not looking outside of the self for validation, right? And I keep on seeing that there's something even now that's happening for a lot of these energetic connections that feels stabilizing. It feels energetically fortifying. Now, but it's also, and I got to say this, how is the energy moving in that space? By letting go of things but letting go of energetic illusions and moving towards the pathwork of determination. And I keep on seeing the thing I keep on hearing right now across all the frequencies is the difference between a wish and a manifestation. Let's talk about it. What is the difference between a wish and a manifestation? A wish is a sedentary manifestation. It's something that you aspire to have change, but you don't necessarily put any force of effort towards, right? Like that's why we say if wishes were horses, beggars would ride. Because when we're talking about it's easy to articulate upon something that we're working towards, right? But being able to put that, like being able to put that activation energy towards something. And I keep on seeing the small, the small, clumsy energy that we're seeing right now, the training wheels energy, working in that space of trying to improve, trying to perfect, trying to do something better, recognizing and identifying the clumsiness along the way. This is a lot of that energy that even as they're building into those connections is saying it doesn't have to be perfect. It's not about being perfect. Perfect is what we make. It's being able to identify what it is that we're doing to make something easier, to make something better. So I keep on hearing that, like, what's happening for a lot of these energies right now in separation is recognizing the ability of energy that knows and recognizes the self to a certain degree, that they can work towards minor adjustments, right? Because again, what happens when we're good with ourselves and someone gives us a note, right? When someone tells us something that frustrates them, we don't get defensive, right? We don't get oppositional to it. We absorb it, right? We integrate it. We identify and we either articulate upon clarifying to another what our energetic intentions are and reaffirming our commitment to do something in a different way. And in the moment that energy receives that, it suddenly gives them clarification on energetic connections that were based more on whim. And the thing is about it, whim relationships, energetic relationships based on whim, have no room for frustration. You're never going to be able to have frustration in an energetic relationship built upon whim. Because if someone's coming towards you to be energetically inspired, right? If they're moving towards their whim and then you articulate something that bothers you, they're going to say, that's not very dream of you. And they're going to go away, right? Because it's like they're building upon the energetic whim. They're not trying to build something that feels energetically consistent. So this is a lot of the energy I see just working in the space. And this is a culmination of some of those energies that we saw coming into warrior energy. This isn't energy that's getting over internalizing that, going, why, what am I doing wrong? Why am I not being able to get that from someone? It's not about adapting. Some things, when you experience them, it's identifying that when you recognize them, it's not about changing the self in order to bring someone into a space that they're not coming towards you from a place of whim. It's simply moving away from energy that's doing so. It's simply doing the work of identifying and recognizing. And it's like, again, working towards manifestations doesn't mean that you sit there with something that's like, you don't take the square peg and try to jam it into the round hole. You don't sit there and go, I bet if I just beat this in here enough, it'll go. Because it will, but it'll never feel the way that you expect it to feel, right? Like if you say to yourself, okay, this could be my manifestation, I just can never express any dissent. This is great. This will be my manifestation. I just need to stop talking. This can be my manifestation. I just need to turn into an entirely different person in order to inhabit. Like the universe says, like you can have anything, but you can't just work towards manifestations as it relates to what it is you receive. A good manifestation is one that you find yourself on the journey. A good manifestation is not forcing something to become the manifestation. It is moving in accordance to it. It is recognizing, again, working through the pathwork of surrender, identifying what it is not as you move towards what is. And I keep on seeing that there's a lot of energy right now that is recognizing and understanding the arrival of their manifestation in a form that they completely did not expect. A little bit of this, like, welcome to like the delightful surprise of the universe that says, I know you probably weren't expecting it. I know you thought it was that you thought it was that person. You thought it was that person. Yeah, that one looked a lot like it, but which one feels like it? You have to look. You can't look at, don't look for the thing that looks like your manifestation. Ask yourself if it feels like your manifestation. Continuing to move into divine union. Why? This is the energy that's deep within divine union in relationships that feel like their manifestation. And what is an energetic relationship that feels like our manifestation feel like? They feel like that point of like they they feel that they fortify us. They feel like it's like the blossoming of the self. And that's not a space that requires us to be perfect. It helps us see and identify what it is that we're working towards. It allows for that adaptability. It allows for that changeability. So I keep on seeing that this is energy that is saying to each other, thank you. And they're saying, I'm not doing anything. And they're saying, yes, you are. I am flourishing in your embrace. I am flourishing in your embrace because you're not holding on to me tightly, because I don't feel the need to be something around you. And the moment that I feel the ability to be my authentic self, I am given the opportunity to energetically flourish. While for masculine and feminine energy right now, deep within divine union, I just keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy deep within divine union, that like this is interesting, because this is very oppositional. This is, I told you, it's a lot more fermentation. It's a lot more arms crossed energy. It's very, it's a lot of this, like, you can't force things. That's why the energy is shit. Like, that's why the energy's got its arms crossed, and it's saying the same thing as the energy within the other frequencies, but they're saying you can't force things. Like, that's the message that's coming through with a lot of this Libra full moon. You can't force things. And when we stop trying to force things, we can see things, right? And so I just keep on seeing that this is energy that's going, I can't force things, but I hope they see. Like, I can't force things, but I hope they see. Because that's the energy. That's why you extend an olive branch. You're like, you're right. Are you seeing things yet? You have those moments. You have those moments, and you just, like that. What are you going to do? Like, it's like it is what it is. You just kind of have to come into that space, and you do. And here it is. What are you going to do? You do what you can, right? That's the thing about it. The question is, and that's why I keep on seeing that a lot of the energy in that space says to one another, what are you going to do? And the answer to that is, we do what we can, right? We do what we can, and we don't force things with outside of that context. Continuing to get clarification between our 10 of Wands in its reversal in combination with our Hermit card in its upright. May I please have one card to clarify? Clarification coming through right now. I like it. We've got a Page of Swords. There's a lot, like, welcome, like, yeah, this is what we can kind of anticipate with the fact that Mercury is like woken up behind Neptune right now, which is, I just keep on seeing, there's something really important as it relates to, and I want to describe this because it's a little bit, and this is why there's so much frustration that's potentially being released around some circumstances and situations right now. It's really frustrating when we have those moments that we identify that we're standing in our own way. You know what I mean? And sometimes in those moments we can be very hard on ourselves, right? But I have to say this, the moment that we see that is immediately a gift, right? We talk about the process of awakening. Like, it's like, it's not like, oh, it's those moments you go, oh man, it's like those moments. You're like, like, often awakening. This is what awakening is. Awakening is not like, oh, it's like, I was an idiot. It's like it's going through those moments of looking back at the past self and saying, you beautiful, precious idiot. You know what I mean? Like, it's those moments, but that's what we talk about with inner child healing, right? It's those moments that we allow for that context by which we hold ourselves in reverence, because it's in those moments that we identify and recognize that we can do something in a different way, right? And you've got to embody, you have to embody joy as you navigate that journey, right? Because often, often the first thing that we arrive to when we feel like we've awakened to something, what's the first thing we say? I'm late. You know what I mean? Like, I'm late. It feels like you're energetically late because like, you're only you're seeing the whole experience of the past self and going, oh man, it took me that long. It took me that long. Yeah, that's how long it took. You know, don't chart your progress. Remember, you're never late on your own journey. You're always on time. Bottom of the deck on this reading right now, especially with the Four of Cups in its reversal. Not, I keep on seeing, not agonizing, like, and this has to do, like, that's the thing about some of this, like, the thing that's so rough about some of that Venus retrograde with the Mercury retrograde that we experienced is creating that space of like really hyper, like, obsessing over decisions, right? Like, I know, like, I'm telling you right now, I know that potentially one of the reasons that that eclipse energy felt so rough or felt so rocky is it felt like there was a lot, like just feeling a lot of this internal pressure in relationality to working through pathwork and making decisions. But this is why we had a bit of a gift of that Leo full moon energy that was working through that as well. Because when we're working through difficulty and hurdles of the self, but we navigate it with a sense of compassion for the self, right? When we ease ourselves on those journeys, when we don't hold our decisions, when we don't get so frustrated about choices, but we allow for the space of being more energetically easy or fluid. I keep on describing this, like, this is what we mean by flow state, because it's not a flow state is not one that you're perfect within. A flow state means you flow with it, even if you do something that feels like it's not perfect, right? You just don't get caught up on it. You don't like, you don't run into a screeching halt. You just kind of roll with it. So I feel like the nice thing about some of this Libra energy is it does feel like there's a bit of that energetic catharsis insofar as building into the context of appreciating, um, like, how much it takes to find the flow state of the self where you're not agonizing over things. You're just allowing the ability to move through them and to observe the self in the process. And that's why I keep seeing that there's a lot of that, like, that feeling of flow state. Remember the chariot energy, something that's jittery to start, something that takes a while to get moving, but that's because the energy is being careful, right? That's because the energy, like, when we don't like fools rush into things, but energy that is conscientious is mindful. Energy that is conscientious takes their time, and sometimes they're awkward in that space because there's that heightened degree of consideration in relationality to how another person feels in the face of our own desire, right? While for masculine, and that's why I keep on hearing a lot of intimacy wounds that are being healed at this time. While for masculine and feminine energy that is coming into divine union, I just keep on saying that for a lot of the energy coming into divine union, this is the energy that feels like they're going through this process of refinement, that they finally arrived into an energetic connection. And the beauty of arriving into a connection that feels like it allows us an ability to be our authenticity is it allows us to finally blossom. It allows us to finally flourish. It doesn't require us to put when we don't have to put all of our time, energy in trying to maintain and establish a healthy connection, when we just build into that with another, then it gives us the ability to find ourselves. It gives us the ability go into a more internal journey. And so I just keep on seeing that there's so much of this energy right now that says to another, you have no idea the effect you've had on me. And the energy is saying, I'm not doing anything. And the energy says, you've released me from the burden. You've released me from the burden. You've released me from the agony of having to put all of my time and effort and energy in worrying on relationship. And that is a gift without I keep on saying that the energy says that is a gift without measure. While for masculine and feminine energy, and that's why they say you have no idea. Like that's the energy, you have no idea. And the energy's going, I'm not doing anything. They're like, yes, you are. Now for masculine and feminine energy that is deep within divine union, I just keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy deep within divine union, you know, this is frustrating because I see a lot of the energy deep within divine union working on. I feel like this is energy that wants to flow. But when we want to flow and someone is calcified, it is painful for us, right? Because sometimes in those journeys, we have those desires to heal something, to want to move into a space of concordance. But if another person is energetically rigid, and this is why I keep on seeing that the energy that heals extends the olive branch, but they don't cut down the tree because they put that concerted effort towards something to extend the opportunity to heal something with another. But they also are respective to the fact that not everything can be healed, right? That we recognize and understand, and we hold each other in accordance to those journeys. So I keep on seeing that that's a lot of the energy that is working on the gentle touch, trying to identify what feels like it helps communicate that, but without feeling like it's energetically pushing. That is our daily collective read for today. I want to thank you so much for being here to experience it. Just a reminder, if you would like to book a private reading with me, you can do so on my site. Please keep in mind, if you book a private reading with me, it is a two-step process. You have to book the reading, you have to pay for the reading. Please make sure you do both if you'd like to have that reading. Most importantly, please remember that I will never, ever, 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 ever reach out to you for a private reading. I will never DM you. I will never PM you. I will never slide into your inbox and tell you that I have a very important message that only I can deliver. The only way you can book a reading with me is if you book one on my site. So I would encourage you to do it there. Also, a couple of updates before we move into personal readings. Tarot class is this Wednesday, and I hope you will join us there. Our next class will be focusing on the Hangman card. If you would like to become a part of our tarot class program, all you need to do is head over to my Substack and become a paid subscriber. Your paid subscription to my Substack is your ticket of entry into our live classes each and every month. You will also, as a monthly subscriber, have access to over 9 hours worth of class material in the Tarot Church Library Archive. Now, it's not necessary to catch up. I'll be doing my best in each class to give you an update on everything we have studied leading up into the next class, but the material is there for you to receive when you're ready to receive it. You will also have access to a one-on-one chat with me and the other students to ask any questions you may have in relation to anything that we've studied, also or are currently studying. And if you become a founding member to my Substack, not only will you receive full access to the entirety of the Tarot Church Library Archive, you will also have access to the opportunity. You'll also have a discounted rate on the full year's worth of readings, and you will also have access to the opportunity of having a complimentary one-on-one mentorship class with me, wherein I will meet with you personally and assess where you are on your tarot journey to give you the best insights in terms of how to utilize those classes to the best of your benefit moving towards your personal tarot goals. One of the things I tried to do in these classes was make them accessible to the absolute novice tarot reader as well as the seasoned reader. There's definitely something there for everyone. Don't let your lack of experience or your robust experience prevent you from joining us in these classes. And even if you don't become a founding member to my Substack, I would encourage you to follow me there to stay up to date on any new offerings or services. I also post my weekly newsletter there, which will let you know about my in-person events as well as my online live schedule. I also post my Mystic Musings there, which will give you a written update on what we've been experiencing energetically. I also want to let you guys know that on top of my standard life path readings, I also offer mentorship classes. These are for any of my clients seeking a more personalized educational experience with me. I take a very limited number of students for this reason, as those classes are focused on each individual's personal spiritual goals and journey work. Those classes can be purchased on an individual level or as a monthly class series, weekly or bi-weekly as your schedule permits. Also, for my clients seeking more consistent weekly tarot support, I'm very happy to offer weekly tarot insight packages. That is a package of 4 30-minute readings, again, weekly or bi-weekly as your schedule permits, so that you can stay more consistent on your personal journey. I'm also very happy to now offer as well dream interpretation readings. These can be purchased on an individual level per dream or as a series. I would encourage, if you purchase the series, that you make sure that you start to keep a dream journal, as we will meet weekly or bi-weekly with that journal and utilize the tarot to understand the key themes and messages coming towards you in the dream space. I want to thank you guys so much for being here today and sharing in these messages. And we will do this again tomorrow. That is our daily collective read. We are going to get started on personal readings. If you'd like to get congratulations to Bridget, you got our highest gifter today. And Sweet Lemons, you got second, so you will also have an additional card in your reading. If anyone else would like to get, you'll also have an additional card. If anyone else would like to get on the list right now, you will be the third person read for. 3 cards for a donation of 28 or more. 4 cards for a donation of 22 or more for my subscribers, Binks in my Lio. Please keep in mind there are 2 things I do not read for across these apps. Those are pregnancy and medical. Happy to give insight on anything in private readings, and you can book private readings on my site. We are also at 37.7K likes. When we get to 50K, I will be gifting a reading back to the collective, so make sure you're tapping that screen. We'll get to 50K in no time. And I'm going to take a few minutes to read over some of the comments that came through as I was reading. Welcome to everyone joining us. Elisa, tapping to claim this type of relationship. Thank you for being here and receiving these messages. My sweet, I felt totally relieved yesterday with all my positive energy I was feeling. I'm so happy to hear that, dear. I'm also going to be taking a moment. Oops. I need to get the picture of the spread, but I'll pause on that before we do that. I'm glad to hear that this is coming through as positive energy for you right now, my sweet. And thank you so much for being a subscriber. Stability is romantic. Tap to claim, K. Megan. And the collective energy resonates. Definitely a feeling of relief feeling with people who provide stability and understanding. Tap to claim, V. And Carrie, your subscription's ending soon if you'd like to renew. I'm telling you, feeling more balanced. So glad to hear that as well, my sweet. And a V, same, emotionally feeling balanced. Thank you guys for supporting each other in the comments. And thank you for those hearts, Elisa. Can't force it. Tap to claim, Addie. It's because Venus went direct. I know, it's helping, right? And that's beautiful. Thank you, Elisa. Hi there, Jacob. Hope you're having a beautiful day. Now we just have to get out of Mercury's dang shadow. Exactly. I mean, it's just, and we still got to come out of the Venus retrograde shadow too. You know what I mean? Like, it's the work continues, but we should have a bit of an easement point. Clumsy is fine. I'm sick of trying to make things perfect. Sending you so much support on that journey, Elisa. I don't feel so alone anymore. I'm so glad, and welcome to the collective, dear. I'm so grateful for this energy. Needed it after 3 of these eclipses. I know, it's been intense. And thank you as well. Yes, her lives are great, but this full moon energy feels relieving. I agree, Veal. I think that, I was expecting that, like again, like it's gonna, like the Libra full moon is gonna be balancing, especially coming out of the eclipse cycles. And thank you as well. The last eclipse broke my pendant I've been wearing for years. Sending you support on that journey, Kay. It did its job and said goodbye. That's a beautiful way of describing that. I agree. I feel so relaxing after the eclipses. Yeah. I can't decide what to replace it with yet. Give yourself time, dear. And I need healing. Continue to work towards those healing goals, Jacob. And good. Thank you for sharing the live, Dada. Always appreciate when you guys share the live. Addie, forceful can be charming. Brute force, non bueno. Exactly. Beautifully said. Gentle, like again, exquisitely consistent pressure is what I'm getting. Like the insistence that we give each other. And thank you, Dada, for sharing the live. Always appreciate when you guys share the live. Thank you for claiming, Elisa. I'm a strong Aries, never realized my warrior was for myself. Continuing to send you support on that journey, my sweet. There's been a lot of work right now for those with Aries placements. I'm a Gemini sun and Libra rising. I love that combination, two birds. But like, I feel like there's a lot of work that Gemini and like with Libra placements has to be, which is like, you know, building, like being able to see the all sides of something, but being able to maintain an energetic stability point in relationality to your own perception of something. And thank you, Catherine, for sharing the live. Always appreciate when you guys share the live. We feel our feelings so they don't feel us. I love that, Bridget. Tap to claim. Whims. Yes, Addie. Let's go fly a kite. Exactly. Reminds me of Boy George. You come and go. Very much, Addie. You're so welcome, Jacob. Haven't thought of that song in years. Neither have I, Kay. All right. And thank you. Sacred. Interesting. Me and my DM both have big hermit energy. Well, that can be beautiful. I feel like, here's the thing, and I teach about this a lot in the classes too. I feel like the hermit card is often misinterpreted too. It's not a card of loneliness. It's a card of energetic stability with one's own presence, It's not running away from the self. It's finding the self. Good to see you today. Hope you're doing well, dear. Divine masculine. Yep, I felt that, sacred. Yep. Hold on a minute. Classic. Absolutely. And thank you as well. You're so welcome. And Christina, your subscription's ending soon if you'd like to renew. That's me. I'm definitely in my hermit energy. Sending you support on that journey, Bridget. Wishes are inactive manifestations. Exactly, Elisa. I'm happy to read for you if you'd like to get on the list on Fresh. The list is open. And Christina, thank you for the follow. Thank you for sharing the live data. And thank you as well for the gift, Cindy. All right. This square peg can't fit into round hole. I love how you phrase that, Addie. Luxury. Would whim equal emotional whirlwind hopping and different than aligned impulse? I would challenge you to clarify to me what an aligned impulse would be. I need to point out something that is stable can still be energetically impulsive. That's what I keep on seeing. There's energy that is recognizing the difference between surprises and shocks to the system. A surprise is something that is positive. It's something in a point of stability that feels like it's energetically sweet, versus a shock to the system, which feels like it's constantly keeping you in a space of uncertainty, if that makes sense. I'm being roasted. I'm not trying to roast you, Kay. It can be straightforward. Agreed. I did think it was that person. I'm sending you so much support on that journey, Luxury. Claiming this manifestation. Thank you, Elisa. I feel like I'm there without the person in the physical. Like I'm good. They can come in whenever. I think that that's what's beautiful, Bridget, because they're saying to me, like, you're already in alignment energetically. You recognize the energy. You know what it feels like, right? You're just looking for the energy that's embodying the energetic feeling. It's a good space to be. Thank you for the help, Kay. Absolutely. Thank you, two birds. And Cindy, thank you for getting on the list. You will be the fifth person read for. If anyone else wants to get on the list right now, you'll be the fourth person read for. If anyone else wants to get on the list right now, you'll be the fifth person read for. Yes, it always feels like you're late, and you have to remind yourself you're right on time. Tap to claim, Kay. Thank you as well, Arrows, for that fist bump. Fist bumping you right back. This is so the kind of relationship I would love to have. I want you not to say I would love to have it. Say this is a relationship I'm moving towards. Tap to claim. I just cried about childhood embarrassment. Let it go right now, my sweet. Give yourself the space to express how you feel so that you can move through it. And thank you, Untamed, for sharing the live. Always appreciate when you guys share the live. You're so welcome, Bridget. Thank you for being here. All right. And thank you as well. Untamed, thank you for sharing the live. Amazing. Thank you. You're so welcome, Elisa. You're so welcome, Bridget. I know I'm excited about tarot class too, Bridget. It's so fun to catch up. I'm so glad that you feel that way. You're so welcome, Dominic. Mentorship. Thank you for encouraging everyone with the readings as well, Kay. Yay! My liker matches. Oh, I'm glad your liker matches right now, Donna. You see, we're making progress. Yes, it's not broken today. Oh no, does Venus also? Of course, all the retrogrades have a shadow. Yeah, what do you think? Mercury's the only one who's got a shadow? That's not nice. No, they've all got a shadow. We come like here's the thing. It's not. I mean, the thing is, you have to remember, it's not like on off switches. It's like it's moving in and out of them to a certain degree. The moon doesn't feel like a hug, but it does feel leveling, which is almost better. You nailed it. That's exactly what we're experiencing right now, Kay. I'm mourning the situation in DR. So this full moon is a lot of intense shadow work. I'm sending you so much support on that journey right now, Uptown. And thank you for being here, and thank you for communicating how you're feeling. I know. It's a lot. It's a lot going on right now. It's a lot of expressing of the frustrations. It's a lot of working through. It's a lot of working through. And I keep on seeing, remembering, like a lot of the messages that we're seeing here is not letting ourselves feel devastated by identifying what we can do to feel like to build into a space of being energetically supportive. So I'm sending you support on that journey. I'm sending that to all of us. And Rich, thank you for the roses. Aligned, hi there, luxury, aligned impulse. The urge that comes when I've gotten all good, peaceful, and aligned, and asked for one. Okay. Okay. Well, yeah, but I need to point this out. Like that to me would be articulation of surprise, right? Like it's almost like I want to describe this. Like, um, there's a lot of messages that I keep on getting coming through right now as it relates to the difference between a surprise and a shock, right? And that's the thing. Sometimes when someone's shocking us, they try to say that it's a surprise, but it's not a surprise. A surprise is something that's energetically delightful. So even in your ability of articulating that, when you're feeling like you described that, the urge, when things are good and peaceful, and then it just feels like it gets energetically sweeter, that's a surprise, right? A shock is when you don't know what's going to happen and then something happens. And that's why sometimes when you don't know what's going to happen and someone gives us something that's good, it feels like an energetic shock, even if it's good, because it's the fact that it feels like it's like unexpected, you know? Yes, it sounds different. Yep. Thank you for confirmation, luxury. Ashley, happy to read for you if you'd like to get on the list. List is open. Hi there, Monica. Good afternoon, dear. Uptown prayers, absolutely. Prayers to all that were affected. Same. Holding you in light, holding everyone in light. All right, my friends, we are going to get started on today's daily collective read. If you would like to get on the list right now, as I mentioned, you'll be the fifth person read for. First person we are reading for today is Victoria. Victoria, if you're here, can you respond in all caps? Let me know if you'd like a general reading or if you have a specific question you'd like me to answer. If anyone else would like to get on the list for today, you'll be the fifth person read for. Also, we are at 38.7K likes. When we get to 50K, I will be gifting a reading back to the collective. And just bear with me a moment. I'm getting out a new deck. Second call right now for Victoria. All right, second call for Victoria. If Victoria is not here, the next person we're reading for today is Cindy. Oh, hi there, Victoria. I see you now. All right. Victoria, I sent emails to you and you can read my dream out loud. Thank you for confirming. And just bear with me a moment. All right. And just a reminder, if anyone else would like to get on the list for today, you'll be the fifth person read for. And if you miss the daily collective read, it will be up on the place where we keep the videos. It'll also be up on the place where we keep the photos. It'll also be up as a podcast over on my spot at Tarot Church and over on my Substack. All right. Okay, so I've gotten permission from Victoria to read this dream. And thank you guys for supporting each other in the live. And thank you, Uptown, as well, for communicating and letting us know what's occurring right now. Thank you as well, Impic, for the follow. All right. All right, so we're going to proceed right now, and I'm going to read Victoria's dream. Just a reminder, if there's anyone who would like a dream interpretation reading here, similarly, the same for those who might want past life readings, because I will read into those who've had past life regressions. If you want to provide me information that you feel is important to the context of the reading, if you are a subscriber, you can put it in our Discord channel, in the channels that are designated for past life and dream, or you can email me directly, or when you send the donation, you can put it in the notes. All right, so I'm going to read over the full explanation, and then we're going to move into the interpretation. So the dream is this. I only remember this part of my dream. I saw a man that was entirely bright lime green, like a traffic light color. He was radiating the color, like filled with radium. And it was like he was a real human, but also radiating green light. And then I was texting the words, "Where were you last night?" I also had another dream a few days ago, and I was holding an old gray cell flip phone with an antenna I was playing with. I was so excited to have this old relic, and I was saying I quit iPhone. Also remembered another part of the first dream. I was looking at a photo I took because someone told me they are a fan of my photography. It was similar colors of the green man. My friends were standing in a triangle that looked like stained glass colors, and the light was radiating up from the ground. My friends were in separate triangles of these orbs of light, and I told the fan, it represents how I have a hard time connecting to people and how I isolate myself. Excellent. All right, can I please get 3 cards for Victoria? 3 cards for on this reading, please. Thank you. And 1 more about the other dream. Thank you. Okay, so what I'm seeing, it's interesting because I'm getting in this is a higher self dream. So to give you context, when I am reading into dreams, one of the first things I do is recognize what type of dream that we're dealing with. So frequently we can look at ancestral dreams, we can look at guided dreams, we can look at karmic dreams. But this one is directly from your higher self. And the way we can identify that is because there's so much of a conversation that is happening in the way that you are talking to others in the dream. The fact that you're describing yourself, and also the indication of sending a text message. These are ways that I'm seeing that your higher self is trying to communicate to you. Now, one of the things that we're seeing, and I would be very interested if you've been doing more work trying to read into energy, if you will, or if you've been working in the context of feeling um, having a bit of an ability to sense energy, because the designation of seeing an individual that is bright green, if you will, is a symbolic interpretation in being able to recognize um, recognize others not by how they look, but how their energy feels, right? So I can almost be like, I almost feel like that, like, and often when we are when we work in the field of energy, you can almost start to build a familiarity in how different energy feels. Like, that's a green one, that's a red one, like, there's a yellow one, like, because the frequencies themselves, right? The frequencies themselves, sometimes there is a synesthesia, right? And often you'll find that those who are good with working at energy will often go to the, like, they'll sometimes confuse others because they'll talk about the fact that they can see the energy in colors, or that the energy sounds like something. So they're saying it feels to me like your higher self is having a conversation with you about working in the context of starting to be able to feel others' energy. And what's interesting about it is, I know you are texting someone else in the dream saying, "Where were you last night?" But they're saying, to a certain extent, that you may potentially have that ability where you can sense the change in another's energy based on asking a question. So I would be very curious if you felt like that energetic connection that you saw, um, if that felt like it was associated to someone that you met. Or I would be very, very interested, and this is kind of the work we do when we're doing more deep, intense dream work in private sessions. I would definitely kind of lead into asking you what you were doing the night before you had this dream, who you were with. Because the thing about it is, where were you last night? They're actually saying to me, the question isn't one that you're asking another. It's a higher self asking you to look into something that happened the previous night, to identify and recognize how you energetically felt about something. Now, it feels also, and I think that this is interesting too, because it almost says to me that you might have the ability to recognize, like, I feel like it's interesting too, because the association with the individual being green almost says, like, I keep on getting the message of almost like human lie detector, which is like, you can tell when someone is answering to things authentically. you can tell when someone is answering from a place of energetic confidence versus something that would be like more of a red energy, which is someone that's being more, you know what I mean, like the openness by which you can say that, where it doesn't trigger someone, almost in itself reveals who they are, because they don't get shifty within the question of it. It's just like, it doesn't feel like a difficult question. And it's interesting too, because they're telling me that they're bringing up some experience in the past where it was like a question. A question is not loaded unless another person is carrying something upon it that they don't want to answer. So it says to me, it's also interesting because there is some kind of karmic aspect around this, in helping you look at a situation from the past and understand that that question is only triggering to someone who is defensive about it. That it's not a loaded question unless you've got something you don't want to share. So there's something very intriguing about that. I've got a lot of energy coming through in my hands too. So I'd be very curious if you have gifts around energy healing or if you've been working with an energy healer in some capacity. Now it's interesting too because the old phone that you were referring to is saying to me that this has to do with the desire for something that becomes energetically simpler. As I mentioned, there's a bit of a renaissance energy that we're feeling at this time, this desire for old things made new again. And so I keep on seeing that the phone, the arrival of the phone and playing with the antenna, if you will, is it's the longing or the desire to move into, like, return back to a simpler time. And I think it's interesting because they're also saying to me that it has to do with the self. Like, the difficulty with healing is that everything gets more complicated, right? You don't have to think about all this stuff. You don't have to feel all these things. When you're coming into the space where you suddenly, like, if you're coming into some space where you're starting to be able to read energy more, it feels to me that in the past you would have taken someone at face value. Like, you would have just, like, it almost says to me, you would have like it's talking about it's interesting too because it's talking about the complexity of gifts, and that it's almost like the space that um we cherish something, but also identifying something that becomes extraneous and unnecessary. And that's what I keep on seeing, because there's something, if you're coming into the space where you're getting better at reading energy, um you know it's almost like I keep on seeing, like, you don't need, everything else feels like it gets in the way. Everything else just feels like, I keep on hearing, like, decoration. And I feel like there's something about that you're longing for the simpler communication, because it's easier to read into another's energy without too many extraneous variables, right? Like, they're actually saying to me that there's something about that having to do with being able to trust your gut in the face of things that sometimes, like, it's almost saying to me, it's like it's almost finding yourself again, but working in the context of not feeling overcomplicated. I want to give you some bottom of the deck on this reading, something to keep in mind going forward. Yeah, here's the thing about it. More is not always better. Sometimes more stimuli, for those, especially for those who are easily, for those who, I got to point this out, those who are very in touch with energy, more stimuli can sometimes feel overwhelming, right? It feels like a rush to the system. Because it doesn't. It's like it's like static. It's like you have to, like, get a break from it. So it's actually interesting because, again, this does feel like a conversation with the higher self in terms of getting better at working in energetic spaces. And they're basically saying that there's something about that that's articulating upon your heightened sensitivity, which is being identified by the desire to go back to a phone, because it's almost saying to me that you're picking up on the energy of, like, others through the context of social media. And sometimes it can feel like that energetic onslaught, if you will. So they're saying that this could be a concentration. Like, I feel like this is a conversation between you and your higher self, like, trying to say, like, trust your instincts. Don't be confused with what you see. Remember to identify what you feel. They keep on saying, what a green man feels like, not based on gender, but what it feels most aligned to. Because for me, what they're saying, what it feels like when someone's coming towards you in an authentic way. What that green flag feels like. When your gut's correct. And so they're saying, like, don't let the external stimuli override that internal feeling. Thank you so much for having that reading with me, Victoria. And if this message connected to you as well, it's very common for those who need these messages to be here to experience them. We are doing personal readings right now. If you would like to get on the list is open. It is 3 cards for a donation of 28 or more 4 cards for a donation of 22 or more for my subscribers, links in my bio. Please keep in mind there are 2 things I do not read for across these apps. Those are pregnancy and medical. Happy to give insight on anything in private readings, and you can book private readings on my site. I'm going to also, oh, and I also have one more card that I owe you because you were the first person on the list for today as well. Can I get one more card, please, for Victoria? I just want to get you one more card. Highest priority messages from Spirit. No, from your higher self, because this does feel like, this feels like your higher self is trying to talk to you here. Can I get one more card for Victoria, please? Yeah, like this is this is this is confirmation on the fact that it's the higher self. Like this is like it's interesting. You're having conversations with yourself in your dream space, and I feel like a lot of that is helping you like move like it often. Like I like to point out, higher self dreams are really beautiful because they often can be indicative of saying you're moving in the right direction, right? It's like they're helping you find yourself. So they're saying like, and it's interesting because they're saying that they're helping you find yourself by saying, don't, and it's funny, they're going, trust our instincts, trust our instincts, you know? And that's why it's interesting because I feel like it's interesting because you texting what happened last night was your higher self texting you the question, right? It wasn't for someone else. It was asking you, and particularly as it relates, and I would be very conscientious again about what you were thinking about, or something that might have occurred the night before, because it feels to me like there's either some kind of past memory connected to that question, or something that happened the night before that is relevant in relationality to something you were feeling and potentially doubting yourself on. Thank you again, Victoria. I'm going to take a minute to read over some of the comments that came through as it was reading. Just a reminder, if you would also like to get on the list for a dream reading or a past life reading, when you send the donation, you can either include the explanation of it in the messages of the donation, or if you are a subscriber, you can go to our subscriber only Discord and put it in the channel that is dedicated to those areas. I'm going to take a minute to read over some of the comments that came through as it was reading. All right. Yes, hold on a minute. I'm getting a lot of confirmations on the reading, so I just want to confirm. And thank you so much, I am, for the follow. Oh, hold on a minute. Got you, Victoria. Holly, your subscription's ending soon if you'd like to renew. Thank you for pinning that comment, Kay. I just looked it up, praying. Thank you guys for sending your support, holding everyone there in the light. And thank you as well, Ella. Thank you for the compliment on my top. I've been feeling connected to my intuition and connecting to my emotions. Yeah, this is saying to me, like they're saying that this is some kind of like dream to help you recognize that they see that you're like that. They're like, it's reaffirming that that's occurring. Yes, the energy. Thank you for confirmation, Ella. And I feel like I'm very good at understanding energy of others. I can read people for sure. Yeah, that's why the person was coming through as green. They're saying you can feel like you can feel the authenticity in terms of how someone's coming towards you. I have been feeling disconnected from my close friends. I felt their energy shift. And that's like, again, they're saying like, this is saying to me, like, trusting your energetic instinct on this. I mean, the thing about it that I find is kind of interesting is I almost feel like it's not so much that they've shifted. It feels like you've shifted, you know? Like I keep on seeing like there's something about this that they're saying it's not that they've changed, it's that you've changed. You can see, you can sense something there that you couldn't sense before. I was alone the night before the dream I had. Yes. Human lie detector, 100%. Thank you for confirmation, V. Interesting because the writing on old electronic devices is also bright green. Absolutely. Thank you for pointing that out as well, Kay. So maybe a connection between the bright green color of the man and the old phone. That's a very good point as well. I've been trying to learn how to feel my feelings versus intellectualize them. Haven't worked. You're having to do the opposite of what others do. Like I see you. Like that's the thing about it. Um, but it's interesting too because it says to me that like this is helping you. Like they're saying if you're having a hard time feeling them, start trying to associate them with colors. See if that helps. I'm trying to send a smoke signal because Gray forgot one of your cards. No, we've got it here. Thank you, Kay. I deeply appreciate you. Energy before, but interesting to hear. Yep. Thank you, V. Yes, thank you. Yes, please. One more card. Yep. Thank you as well. Hi there, Hydra. Second dream, I'm sure it'll be. I can read others' energy better than I read myself. Well, yeah, that's obviously, it's much easier. No, that's always the case. I teach that in my classes. It's really hard to read for yourself in any context, like tarot energy, because like you're the forest and the trees, you know? You shouldn't be too hard on yourself for that. I feel this. Thank you as well, Little. I'm very easily overstimulated. Yeah, and they're saying like as this happens, that might become more common. Oh gosh, I hated crowds. I still do. So many energies. I know it's a lot. Hold on a minute. This is why I don't like crowds, too much energy. Yep. Thank you guys for supporting each other in the comments. I was constantly sick as a kid, but no one knew why. No, if you're really sensitive to it, it can take it out of you, you know? Yes, you two are in sync. Absolutely. Thank you. Yes. You're so welcome, V, and thank you for trusting me with that dream. And Michelle, thank you for the follow. I know. I love the Queen of Pentacles too. I love it too because they're like, I think it's funny because like, I need to point out, you said it represents how I have a hard time connecting to people and how I isolate myself. So they're saying even now, like they're saying that this is the reason why, right? Because remember, and I need to point this out, you talked about the energy standing on colored triangles, right? And they're saying like it's further that the second dream is further confirmation on that. Like, and you're literally explaining to yourself in your dream, you're like, this is representing why I have a hard time connecting to people and how I isolate myself. Because they're like, you can sense their energy. It has a big effect on you. You can't overlook it, you know? This resonated. Okay, yes, that makes sense. What did I do last night? Since I was alone. Yes. And thank you so much, Michelle, for the crowns. Everyone loves listening to dream readings. I know it's such a gift when you guys share them here. Thank you guys for trusting me and sharing them here. You're so welcome, Hydra. And thank you, Michelle, for the hearts. Gray is the real deal. Get a reading if you can. Thank you so much, Cindy. That's really kind of to say. I do my best. Yes, true. I've changed. Thank you as well, V. I love that. Associate feelings with colors. I mean, this is clearly what the higher self was trying to say to you in the stream. They're saying if you're having a hard time feeling it within the self, describe it as a color. What color are you feeling? Hi there, Maria. How are you doing today? Thankful. All right. Hi there, Dawn. Welcome. I'm having a bad time. I just can't concentrate. Make sure that you're taking time for yourself right now. Make sure that you're resting. The thing about a lot of this Libra energy right now, it's a very high frequency. So anything that you do to ground yourself right now may help. Grounding foods, things that are energetically nourishing. Taking a walk right now may help as well. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. You're so welcome, V, and thank you for having that reading. We're going to continue right now. Next person we're reading for today is Cindy. Cindy, actually, apologies. Bridget's next. It's Bridget, and then Sweet, and then Cindy. If anyone else wants to get on the list right now, you'll be the third person read for. 3 cards for a donation of 28 or more. 4 cards for a donation of 22 or more for my subscribers, links in my bio. Please keep in mind there are 2 things I do not read for across these apps. Those are pregnancy and medical. Happy to give insight on anything in private readings, and you can book private readings on my site. No problem, Kay. Thank you so much for all of your help today. And everyone, please thank Kay for all of their help moderating. I put my dream in the Discord. Thank you for letting me know, Bridget. All right. Just bear with me a moment. Let me pull up that dream. Bum, 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 bum. Where are we? Bridget. And just a reminder, if anyone wants to get on the list right now, you'll be the fourth person read for. And if you're sending for dreams or past life, you can send those in the comments of your donation, or you can put it directly in our Discord. Okay. I've got, all right, so we are now doing a dream. Just bear with me one moment. All right, a dream for Bridget. The dream is this. I've been dreaming about slow dancing with my divine counterpart in the kitchen for a few years now. Always the same dream. But last week I dreamed I was standing in a line waiting for something, and this man was in front of me, also waiting, but dancing with his daughter. She's about 10. I'm smiling at him, and he notices, and he pulls me into the dance as well. Now it's just the two of us, and we are smiling and slow dancing. I realize then that he's my divine counterpart, and then I wake up. Ah, what a beautiful dream. Okay, can I please have 4 cards for Bridget? 4 cards for Bridget in relationality to the dream meaning. Yep. I keep on seeing every time I'm reading for this right now. So I keep on, remember what I said about a healthy manifestation is not about what it looks like, it's about what it feels like. The delightful surprise that we receive when we don't focus so much on what we expect, but we leave ourselves available to recognize it based upon the energetic feeling that it brings within us. Everything about these dreams right now, they feel like they're being guided from your divine counterpart to help you recognize them energetically. And I think that you articulated the fact that you said to a certain extent that even though you're in separation right now, you feel like you can feel your energetic counterpart. There's a familiarity that is occurring there. Even if it's, I keep on saying, even if it's lacking a visage, right? And what's beautiful about that is that's why it feels like it's the divine connection, because it's almost like these dreams are helping you build into that manifestation goal, because they're helping you remember like what that energy feels like, right? Not what it looks like, but what it feels like. And they keep on giving me like and what they're saying to a certain extent is a lot of the tableaus, if you will, that are being shown to you in the dream space are indications of the qualities and characteristics that you'll find in the energetic counterpart as well. And I keep on. I feel like I want to talk towards. I know you mentioned the line, but I want to talk first towards the fact that you said that you've had a repeating dream, as it were, of the divine counterpart and yourself dancing in a kitchen. And now one of the things that we talk about is kitchens are spaces that nourish us, they feed us, right? It's also the space that, and I want to describe this, you're not alone in the kitchen. It's not like this is a dream about you making food for someone. This is someone in the kitchen with you. So this is describing a love or a counterpart that is as just as committed to nourishing you as you are committed to nourishing them. So the ability, the description of dancing in the kitchen, right? Because when we dance, we effectively we interweave. We worked like we when we're dancing, we find pleasure in the act of energetic exchange. So the idea or of the symbol, the fact that you have this symbol of your counterpart as someone who is dancing in the kitchen with you, because it's saying to me you're not looking for a counterpart that you feel like you have to serve or that feels like they have to serve you, but one that you're equally invested in serving one another. And in that space, you find the delight and joy of the journey of mutually serving one another harmonically, which is the aspect of dancing in the kitchen. Simultaneously, you have this other aspect to the dream where you describe the man that's standing ahead of you dancing with their daughter. Now, what's interesting about that is it's saying to me that the daughter is actually you. It's your inner child. I would be very attentive to anything that may have occurred to you around that age as a child, because it's saying to me that there's something about the safety of seeing an energy that is in a space of not, I keep on saying, not feeling embarrassed to dance with a child, right? Um, like in a space where it's like they don't care, like they don't care what others think. They just care about the joy that they're generating upon the connection to that energetic individual. I feel like you saw them with your inner child because it was the articulation of meeting someone and feeling like your inner child would be safe with them. They wouldn't be embarrassed by public displays of affection. They wouldn't be embarrassed about doing something silly in a space that feels um, like it's not appropriate to do so. It's giving me a lot of that energy of saying like the world stops in that space, like that you can dance anywhere, which says to me, not someone who's trying to hide how they feel about you, not someone who's trying to, talk about like almost like I'm almost seeing some kind of like karmic wounds around someone who used to like push off some kind of affection and saying now's not the time and place, because they're saying that like the articulation of the energy dancing with your inner child in line at a store is the energy that says, you know, like any place, anytime, anywhere is a place that they would be happy to celebrate that energetic union. And that's why we saw that they're saying that the shift that you saw, that them moving from the small child to you, is saying that that ability, like not only will be meeting someone that is proud to hold you in a public space, nourish you in the present, but they're also saying that it's going to heal some kind of inner child wound that potentially happened when you were about the age of 10, of someone that may have started telling you that they couldn't be as affectionate with you or pushing something off, like because of a space of propriety or embarrassment. Bottom of the deck on this reading, yeah, especially with the moon card, everything I keep on seeing right now, this is your manifestation in action. It's the manifestation that's helping you learn to recognize the energetic connection. I think that this is also coming through at a time. I keep on seeing you're having to do some work in the difference between an energy that looks like your manifestation versus an energy that feels like our manifestation. And that's often like a difficulty point, because sometimes when we see someone who looks like their manifestation but they're not acting right, like I need to point this out, we all get the be wary of the false manifestation, which is like, why aren't you acting like the way that my manifestation is supposed to act? Like those moments that we're like, what am I doing wrong, being like, the higher self is like, did that ever feel like that? Right, like it's almost like it's something about this is helping you even now you know, recognize the difference. And it's interesting because they're saying not only are they doing that to help you move forward, but they're also saying to me they're doing that to help you move backward, like to help you to prevent you from moving backward, to prevent you moving back into something with someone, like with some kind of energy that may look more like your manifestation, but never felt like your manifestation. Thank you thanks so much for having that reading with me. And if this message connected to you as well, it's very common for those who need these messages to be here to also experience them. We are doing personal readings right now. If you would like to get on the list right now, you will be the third person read for. It is 3 cards for a donation of 28 or more, 4 cards for a donation of 22 or more for my subscribers. Links in my bio. Please keep in mind there are 2 things I do not read for across these apps: pregnancy and medical. Happy to give insight on anything in private readings, and you can book private readings on my site. Next person we're reading for today is Cindy. Cindy, if you're here, can you let me know if you'd like a general reading or if you have a specific question you'd like me to answer? And if anyone else would like to get on the list for today, you will be the third person read for. And I'm just going to take a minute to read over some of the comments that came through as I was reading. You're so welcome, V. Yes, it just feels like breathing. I love that description, Bridget. And thank you, Ava, for the gifts. Effortless. It feels grounding. Yes, I also had the same feeling. We were in a line waiting for food. You see the nourishing, again, concentration on nourishment. That's beautiful. It really is. And thank you for sharing that dream with the collective. Yeah, no, we're doing personal readings right now, Justine. We just did a dream reading for Bridget. Oh, thank you. And heads up, Carrie, your subscription's ending soon if you'd like to renew. I have no intention of moving back now that I felt my divine counterpart's energy. Sending you so much support on that journey, Bridget. Such a beautiful dream reading. Yes, thank you for sharing it with us. Hi there, Cindy. How are you doing today? What does the next year look like with my challenges? I've got you, dear. Thank you so much. Can I please have, and thank you so much for becoming a subscriber. You'll get 4 cards. Can I please get 4 cards for Cindy? Highest priority messages from Spirit, please. Highest priority messages from Spirit. All right. Woo, they coming out fast. And one more, please. I mean, there's something, I think I keep on seeing, like, there's something about this year, which is just, I feel like a lot of this work that you're doing right now is letting go of the past, you know? And I feel like it's hard because I feel like there's like someone energetically around you that, like, you know, I gotta, what is this? I'm gonna say a few things for you to you to help you through something here. One, the past is a library. It's not an armory, you know? Like there's something really important that I'm seeing around something here that like needs to be recognized and identified because something about this is saying to me like, how do I describe this? Like I feel like there's something about this here where you're working like you are. I just see you working on something in a way that you've never worked on something before. Like this says to me, like I see you like pursuing a passion here, like with a lot of like with a lot of focus, with a lot of determination. And the thing about it is, and I think that this is like the a bit of the breakthrough here is like whatever this is like whatever this is from the past that kept on trying, like I feel like it feels like there's some kind of energy here, like trying to look at the past like some kind of armory. And I just see you walking away from conversations with like the like not like I keep on seeing like not engaging, but also like it feels like I keep on seeing like the ability to recognize what feels productive versus um like I feel like there's thorniness here, you know? And I feel like it's often like I feel like there's something here too that somehow painful because I see you having some kind of big success this year. Like this is a big moment for you. I see that there's something about this period that you're transforming on something. You're bringing something into existence. And you know, it's very painful in moments when, and this is why, and this is sometimes why, like when we go through transformational cycles, um, our eyes become clearer. We see things that we couldn't see before. Because I almost see you like having some kind of point, like moving into some kind of measure and degree of success upon something. But then I see that this is a bittersweet year for you because at the same time, I almost see you identifying how it's changing some of the energy around you in ways that you could not have predicated or expected, you know? And that's why I see that it feels like it's energetically painful because it almost, and I need to describe this. It's, and I got to point that I got to just tell you, and I'm going to walk you through what I'm seeing here. Some healing that we can do energetically can only happen like before we move into like some kind of some kind of benchmark of a change within us, because I feel like the difficulty point is I almost see some energy coming back towards you, and it almost feels like it startles you because it almost feels like you see someone coming towards you in a way you never saw them before. You know what I mean? In some kind of way that like almost like I feel like it's like looking at someone and saying to them like, what, where is this change coming from all of a sudden? And then there's that dawning realization that the thing that has changed is you. Like the thing that has changed is what you've created for yourself, or what you've like what you've transformed upon. And I keep on seeing that this is what I mean about something here feeling energetically affirming, but it almost at the same time feels bittersweet because I keep on seeing that that is the difference. Like I feel like you're recognizing like it almost feels like it provides clarity to you as to what an authentic relationship is, right? And what is an authentic relationship? An authentic relationship isn't conducive in seeing a change in another because we've had some kind of benchmark of success, right? It's the identification point of like I feel like the relationships that perpetuate beyond this cycle of the year are the energy that stays constant in the wake of your own path moving into like a point of achievement, if that makes sense. I know this is like a really complicated message, but the reason I'm saying this because it's a very nuanced message because it almost feels to me like there's the arrival Like just as you're moving into the space of having some kind of like personal success point, there's energy that returns back to you, but it's like you can't, it's like the like what they're bringing to you or how they're arriving to you, it almost like gives you clarity on how they saw you and what has changed. Now, bottom of the deck on this reading, where I keep on hearing the words like, and this is what feels like it's resonating across the reason why this feels like a breakthrough year, but also bittersweet, is I keep on hearing the message, where were you? Where were you? Right? And the reason I keep on hearing, where were you, is because it does feel like, I almost feel like there's been a lot of path work of you having to like build, like work on something or create something from the ground up. Something about having to start anew, having to like start something from scratch. And that's why I keep on seeing that there's some kind of moment, like this is why I keep on feeling if there's energy that comes back towards you at a moment that you have a breakthrough, but they weren't there when you needed them to be. They weren't there in those moments that you were struggling. Like that's what I meant about like the painful clarity in understanding and recognizing the weight of certain relationships, because it almost says to me that you're going to be seeing something there, that it's like there's going to be a weight on them, but it's going to feel like an affirmed weight, like something that you can't ignore, something that feels like it's like it almost feels like like it's like it feels like that's what I meant, like what's changed, and you being like, oh, I see what's changed, right? It's like it's a lot of that. So I want you to be conscientious about that, because it does feel like wrestling with a lot of emotions, but not allowing oneself to be emotional, being able to articulate through things, not reacting to them, right? I keep on hearing like a message from your higher self about like observe those moments. But you don't need, like I almost feel like you don't need to like you don't need to like I almost feel like it's like I almost see you like having some moment being like, like you're like there's a lot of like it does feel restorational because it gives you clarity, right? Thank you so much, Cindy. It's like it's clarity, but it's like it's overwhelming clarity. You know what I mean? Like it's that it's you know what I mean? It's like it's like that, you know? Like it's understanding like the space or the power of energy that like I need to point out, a healthy relationship is not conditional upon where we find another, is what I keep on seeing. Right. Like that's the big thing there. Um, But on the bright side, I see that there's a lot of new connections that are coming towards you, right? Like this does feel like at the same time, a lot of relationships are fortified in the process. Thank you so much for having that reading with me, Cindy. And if this message connected to you as well, it's very common for those who need these messages to be here to experience them. We are doing personal readings right now. If you would like to get on the list is open. It is 3 cards for a donation of 28 or more, 4 cards for donation of 22 or more for my subscribers. Links in my bio. Please keep in mind there are 2 things I do not read across these apps: pregnancy and medical. Happy to give insight on anything in private readings, and you can book private readings on my site. Next person we are reading for today. Sweet. Congratulations on getting the second highest gifter. And thank you so much for becoming a subscriber. You'll be getting 2 cards in your subscriber reading for today instead of 1. That said, we are going to open up to 1 card readings for subscribers. If you are a subscriber and would like cards pulled, go ahead and put your question in the comments. I'll be happy to pull cards for you. If you'd like to become a subscriber, you can hit my name at the bottom of the screen and hit that subscribe button. All right. And you guys have to bear with me a moment because I've got a glare happening and I need to turn the screen so that I can read. All right. Hi there. And just reading over some of the comments that came through. All right. Let me see if before I continue reading, I just need to see if I can make adjustments so that there isn't so much of a glare on the screen. Just bear with me a moment. Let's see what we can do about that. Oh, that's better. Yep. Just bear with me a moment, guys. Just be patient. 1 second. All right. That's better. And thank you. Carrie, your subscription's ending soon if you'd like to renew. No, we completed the collective. We're doing personal readings right now, miss. And again, it's interesting too, because I want to include that in your reading, Cindy. Like what it actually feels like to me is like actually like they're saying like there's something about navigating that glare, right? They're saying that there's even something about that. Like it's almost like they're saying like something that you see that you can't unsee. That's painful to it's pain. I keep on hearing it's painful to the eyes, right? Yep. And as soon as I said that, as soon as I said that, the glare went away. Thank you for confirming. Yes. All right. And thank you, Kim, for the gifts as well. I've been trying to reconcile family and I've had to give up that goal. I'm working on a small book and articles, sending you so much support on that. Listen, continue to do this work right now because I just see that there's some kind of amazing breakthrough you make in some kind of space. So please continue to do that and sending you support on that journey. Hi there, Nahel. I'm happy to read for you if you'd like to get on the list. If you have any questions, I'm always happy to answer questions. But if you'd like a reading, all you need to do is send a donation. I'll be happy to add you to the list. Hi there, sweet. And thank you for becoming a subscriber. I'm getting mixed messages to help a past woman that needs my help. Is she just okay? Okay, so it sounds like we need some confirmation about an energetic connection. Clear that pain. Tap to claim Victoria. All right. And thank you again, Cindy, for having that reading with me. And thank you for, and wishing you the best of luck on your journey. Mixed messages. Okay, can I get 2 cards, please, for that energetic connection? Highest priority messages from Spirit. I mean, everything that I'm seeing here to a certain extent, sweet, is saying to me, like, recognize the value of a cleared throat chakra. And a healthy relationship is in the space where the throat chakra is cleared, which is not requiring one to have to read between the lines or not or not feeling like not have and it's interesting too because as I said that like I had to clear my own throat, but not having to try to understand or recognize what is occurring, but just being able to have the productive conversation. Um, I feel like there's a conversation that needs to be, you know, I feel like there's a conversation that needs to be had between you and another person as it relates to, um, like, it's interesting because I know you're asking about help, but they're saying to me that the conversation that needs to occur between you and another person is the place that you hold in each other's lives, right? Like that is where I'm seeing. It's interesting because I know that you're talking about the need for help, but I see that the difficulty point is about making sure, like I keep saying, making sure that there's clear identified boundaries between like what a relationship is and what part you serve in one another's lives, because everything I keep on seeing around something here, it is almost saying to me that there's like that this there's some kind of like, especially with this Hierophant in its reversal and the Lover's card in its reversal, I keep on seeing that there's some kind of point of energetic confusion in relationality to, like, I want to understand like what that muddiness is or what it energetically indicates, because everything I keep on seeing here, it's like I don't see someone in a space of need. So I need to point this out. A healthy relationship, there's no confusion. Make sure that you're having those conversations to make sure that you're setting those clear boundaries. Bottom of the deck. Yeah, I keep on seeing making sure, like, um, making sure that there's not something occurring between you and another that's giving the wrong impression or a false impression is what I'm identifying here. Like, it's really communicating to me that there's something that, um, um, the word, I keep on seeing like like a healthy relationship is one that is conducive upon a plan or understanding what the energetic direction of something is. And that's what's interesting, because I keep on hearing like there's something about the difference. I keep on hearing there's something about the difference between help and empowerment. There's something different about the ability of desire, like needing something versus identifying like what the direction of something is. So make sure that the plan is clear. Like, that's what I keep hearing. It's not about what another person needs. It's about recognizing what the plan is, understanding what their plan is, um, like understanding your part in their own experience. I keep on seeing like there's some kind of muddiness here that should be clarified. And it may also have to be making sure that you guys have the same space or recognition of what like what that relationship is and almost what you mean to one another, because I'm not sure why I keep on seeing this, but these are interesting cards to come up around a question or conversation as it relates to help, because I keep on seeing that, like that articulation of being able to help in such a way that there is an expectation, or there's clear understanding. I keep on hearing the words clarity, clarity, clarity. Thank you so much for having that reading with me, sweet. And if this message connected to you as well, it's very common for those who need these messages to be here to experience them. We are doing personal readings right now. If you are a subscriber and would like card pulled, you can go ahead and put your question in the comments. If you would like to become a subscriber, just hit my name at the bottom of the screen. Hit that subscribe button at the bottom of the screen, and I'll be happy to pull cards for you. Hi there, Antonio. How are you doing today? Antonio, these are donation-based readings, or these are subscriber readings. So if you like a donation, if you would like to have a full reading, all you need to do is send the donation. I'll be happy to pull cards for you. Or if you'd like to become a subscriber, I'm happy to pull a card for you. Thank you as well, Victor, for receiving these messages. I got you. One moment, please. MP card. What's my card of the day from Spirit? One card, please. Highest priority messages from Spirit. I feel like there's a lot of energetic transformation that's occurring around you, around some things right now. Don't like, don't, don't, like, don't build from a point of anxiety. Build from a point of stability. Um, don't allow yourself to get frustrated. Allow yourself to be focused through something. Bottom of the deck on this reading. Yeah, specifically the Eight of Wands. Um, recognize and identify what feels like um, productive conversation versus, um, like, especially as it relates to plans. I just keep on seeing like the ability to articulate and identify what plans are here. Um, there's something about consistency and productivity that's coming through in a really big way. So make sure that there's clarification as it relates to um, like looking at it's very much kind of the same message about like building into the space of plans and being adaptable to plans, right? Like don't like remember that if plans change, it's like it's giving me a lot of the messages of have the day that you're having, not the day that you're expecting, because something actually might turn out better in the face of a change than it would have been if it hadn't changed at all. So just be kind of consistent in that. Afraid these are donation readings or subscriber readings on Uni, if you'd like to get on the list here. Same, Antonio. You're so welcome, Cindy. That all makes perfect sense. Thank you for confirmation. I do my best. Thank you. And thank you for becoming a subscriber, dear. I got you, Alexandra. One, please. One card, please, for Alexandra. Um, I feel like there's, um, yeah, I mean, I see some kind of, I feel like if this is a situation between you and another, that there's some kind of, I'm just seeing this here as like if there's some kind of uncertainty and relationality to where you left something, um, you know, make sure that you're addressing it as well, is what I keep on seeing. You know what I mean? Like, make sure that it's just not that space of like leaving something in a space of like uncertainty, but almost having that like that space of productivity and being able to articulate um, like how you feel. Like I keep on hearing, make sure that it's a continuation of the conversation on top of it. Bottom of the deck. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like there's something about this, like almost like addressing where you left something in the context of also conveying the birthday message so someone doesn't misread into it, is what I see. Thank you so much for having that reading with me, Alexandra, and thank you for being a subscriber. I've got you, Ava. One card in relationality to that connection, please. Highest party messages from Spirit. I feel like I see someone that's like going through like a rough patch, particularly energetically right now. Like I'm seeing something here that um like this is saying to me like I don't know why, but I see someone like energetically devastated around something. Bottom of the deck. Yeah, I feel like they're impatient with themselves. I see someone that gets really easily frustrated about their own progress, if that makes sense. You know? And Mo, thank you for the follow. Esteban, one card, please. Woo! Um, this is giving me some kind of energy here, um, like related to rebirth. I'm actually feeling like this month there's like something coming towards you in a new way or perceiving something in a way that you haven't before. Bottom of the deck on this reading. Yeah, particularly and especially um, as it relates to doing something in a different way, or I see some kind of new project or something from the past, um, like coming back in like a positive way. You know what I mean? Like this is giving to me like some old work that becomes new, which is interesting. Bridget, one card from higher self, please. Highest party messages. Um, yeah, this is don't get frustrated right now. Don't get frustrated with yourself. Don't get frustrated with your progress. Um, you know, work into what feels energetically productive, because something that I'm identifying here is just saying to me that like you're on like there you're approaching a breakthrough, but like a lot of that breakthrough is like a breakthrough through your own frustration. Bottom of the deck on this reading. Yeah, especially with this Queen of Wands in its reversal. I just keep on identifying something here that um like you're not getting so hard on yourself. You know what I mean? You're not letting yourself get triggered. You're not letting yourself get into conversations that aren't productive. Like they're saying, like recognize the difference between a productive or a non-productive conversation. And I keep on hearing you don't have to be energetically available for a conversation that doesn't feel like it's productive. Chrissy, one card regarding the connection, please. Highest priority messages from spirit. Um, I see someone like working on trying to figure out how to fix their life. Like I see someone that's recognizing that they need to make some kind of energetic changes. Bottom of the deck. Yeah, but it's very much the same space. Like it shows me, it's saying to me someone is starting to see their triggers in a way that they couldn't see them before. Like this is just giving me the type of energy of someone who's um it almost is giving me the energy of someone who recognizes another person that seems to intentionally trigger them. You know what I mean? Like this feels a little devastating, like they picked up on some kind of unhealthy cycle in their life. Thank you so much. And thank you for being a subscriber. That wasn't a card for me, but it resonates so well. Thank you as well for receiving that card as well. Love N. You're welcome, sweet. Thank you so much. I've saved her life before, just needed to know how far I should go. Sending you support on that journey, sweet. You're so welcome, MP. One card for Susie. Highest party messages from spirit, please. Especially with this Seven of Swords in its reversal, I feel like there's a lot of this work I see that you're navigating in relationality to um, your own perception of the past or your own ability to work through the past. Like this is actually saying to me that you've reached this point on your own journey that you're able to unpack some kind of trauma that you couldn't unpack before. So they're saying be patient with yourself on that. You don't need to rush through that. You can take the time that is necessary. I want to give you some bottom of the deck information. Yeah, you don't need, like I keep on seeing, you don't need to feel forced to confront the past if it's triggering. Do so in a way that feels like it's supportive to you. Don't feel forced on some kind of healing. Just be patient upon it. You're so welcome, Alexandra. You're so welcome, Ava. Uni, I'm happy to read for you, dear, if you'd like to get on the list. Thank you, Bridget, for that beautiful gift. I'm happy to do a reading for you if you'd like to get on the list, but these are subscriber readings. They're also donation based. So if you'd like to become a subscriber or donate, I'm happy to pull cards for you. And we've reached 50K. You're so welcome, Chrissy. Hi there, Susie. Good to see you today. All right, my friends. Final call right now for anyone who would like a full reading or for any of my subscribers who have not had a card pulled today. Just a reminder, if you missed the daily collective read, it will be up later today on the place where we keep the videos. It'll also be up on the place where we keep the photos. It'll also be up as a podcast over on my spot at Tarot Church and over on my Substack. I've got you, Elizabeth. One card for Elizabeth, please, General. Highest priority messages from Spirit. I feel like there's a lot of this work I see it's interesting. I'm not surprised to see a lot of this work coming up right now with the Libra full moon, recognizing and identifying working in the context of what is energetically supportive to you. I feel like there's something about this about you also coming to a point of catharsis as it relates to making peace with the past. Um, and I keep on seeing like it takes a lot of work to make peace with the past, right? It's being able to resolve something within the self, it's being able to recognize and identify what feels energetically supportive to you. So be patient with yourself. It's very much the same message that we just gave. Be patient with yourself on navigating that journey. You don't have to feel that need of confronting things in a pathwork that isn't in alignment to you. Like I keep on hearing you're always on time for your own journey. So when that time is right for you, like that's the time that's right for you. Don't feel forced by another to have to do that. Thank you. I got you, Susie. Is it confronting my past solo or my past as it relates to other people? That's a good question. Would you like me to draw a card around that? Have you had did we draw your card yet, Susie? And Anna, these are one card readings for subscribers. So if you'd like to become a subscriber, I'm happy to pull cards for you. All right. One card for Susie, please. They're saying both, like they're saying to me that no, it's okay. No, you don't have nothing to apologize for. It's saying to me that there's something about the way you're considering yourself right now that's changing your perception of the past in a profound way. So keep that in mind as well. Oh, and we did reach 50K. Thank you for confirming it. Thank you guys for helping us reach our 50K goal. We will be gifting a reading back to the collective today. So thank you guys so much. Yep, I see it too, dear. All right, so what we're going to do is I am going to be thinking of a number right now between 1 and 41. First person I see. You're so welcome, dear. Thank you. I appreciate you too. I'm going to be thinking of a number right now between 1 and 1 and 42. First person I see that posts the number will have the reading. Nope. 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 Anna, congratulations, dear. Anna Carey, you got our free reading today. Thank you so much for participating. Anna, could you let me know if you'd like a general reading or if you have a specific question you'd like me to answer? And if anyone else would like to get on the list for today, you will be the second person read for. General, you got it, dear. Congratulations. Can I please get, and let me just put the offer here for anyone else who would like to get on the list. All right. Sorry, it's hard to type and talk. There we go. And just a reminder, if you missed the daily collective read, it will be up later today on the place where we keep the videos. It'll also be up on the place where we keep the photos. It'll also be up as a podcast over on my spot at Tarot Church and over on my Substack. All right, where were we? A general for Anna, please. Can I get 3 cards, please, for Anna? Highest priority messages from Spirit, please. Anna, I see a lot of people around this reading right now. I've got specifically 2. And the thing about it is, and I mean, I need to point this out, clarity sometimes, and here, I feel like you're beating yourself up over something that you couldn't see in the past. But I'm also seeing a situation or circumstance, like I have to point this out. The reason that we beat up, or like, hindsight is 2020 because hindsight is faulty. Like this is giving me a situation or circumstance that you couldn't potentially see something because you didn't have a point of comparing it to something else, right? Like this is giving me, ugh, like this is giving me some kind of energetic trauma that you're healing from, in terms of someone like not making you feel like you're worth something, or like making you question your own worthiness. I just kind of see you in this space of some kind of experience in the past that you were feeling like you were constantly having to apologize for yourself, constantly having to um like and the guides are really clear on this. you know like I keep on hearing, like, perfectionism is also like someone who over focuses on perfection. It's also trauma, right? Demanding perfect from another is trauma, because it's very convenient to work. And we've been talking about this, like we've been talking about this a lot over the last week. When we demand perfect from each other, it allows a context by which it's very convenient, because we can always give a reason why someone is not acting the way that we would aspire them to, the reason that they're not giving us their 100%, right? It's a lot of that, it's a lot of that energy that, like, when we come into that space of perfection, it's often the energy saying, well, the reason that I'm not giving you my 100% is because you're not acting energetically perfect enough. But I feel like you're in a space now where you're starting to heal from that, with someone that is helping you recognize and identify the fact that you're perfect just the way you are. Like I just kind of see this space. Like it's hard, because these type of wounds, like wounds of perfection, are sometimes the hardest wounds to heal. Because if we have trauma around another person that demanded perfection from us, we always feel like we're falling short. We always feel like we could be doing better, right? But what happens, and I keep on seeing this, remember, energy that demands perfection is looking for reasons to deny things. Like that's effectively the message that's coming through from spirit. Remember, energy that demands perfection is looking for reasons to deny something. They're looking for reasons not to give something forward, right? Because I keep on seeing that you're working through an energy now where you're learning that perfection is not something that's found in another, it's something that's made together. And so if you're going through a lot of these cycles right now, I want you to take time for yourself. I want you to give yourself the space to energetically heal, because everything that I'm seeing around a circumstance or situation right now, like it feels bittersweet, right? It feels like a relief, but I almost see that it feels like it feels like a relief in the present, but at the same time creating some kind of added burden as it relates to the past. And I also have the message that says, remember, the guide sometimes, we see things as we're in the context that we're ready to heal from them. So I want you to be patient with yourself on that journey. I want you to recognize and identify that, because I keep on seeing that there's some kind of closure that you're getting as to why you couldn't make something work with another in the past connection, that is being clarified to you in the present. And they're saying that a lot of that is building into the context of choosing yourself, and the energy around you that is able to, like, it's like I keep on getting the message, as soon as you are able to choose yourself, and you build upon holding that standard, I see you working in the context of someone who is helping you find your voice and find your power back. And like I keep on getting, like getting your energetic power back to a certain extent. I want to give you some bottom of the deck information too, something to keep in mind going forward. There's something about, I keep on seeing there's something really important and vital about um, unconditionality, or working in like, and this is what I see that I kind of identify that maybe like working through some kind of trauma here, because that's the thing, when energy, I keep on seeing it's like you're healing from energy that was always looking for an excuse. The energy that you heal from energy that's always looking for an excuse by finding energy that always has a reason. And sometimes those moments, this is why I keep on seeing you can't be too hard on yourself if you couldn't see something like that in the past, because the only clarification point that we find with energy that's always looking for an excuse is energy that always finds a reason, because it suddenly gives us clarity as to the energy that like everything is too great a hurdle. Everything is asking for too much. Everything is like it's building into the path of least resistance. Someone who's like always looking for something to be easier, and that is often immediately clarified when we finally work in energetic connection with someone that's also pulling in the same direction as us, that wants the same things that we do. So again, you don't get too hard on yourself if you're having those points of realization, because sometimes the only way we can see those is when we experience the difference. So be patient with yourself on that journey. And I want you to remember, if you have those moments that feel like you're being staggered by memories of the past, I want you to reaffirm your own commitment that you're in a process of healing. I want to thank you guys. Thank you so much for having that reading with me, Anna. And if this message connected to you as well, it's very common for those who need these messages to be here to experience them. We are doing personal readings right now. If you'd like to get on the list, you'll be the next person read for. We're also doing one card readings for subscribers. So if you're a subscriber who have not had a card pulled, go ahead and put your question in the comments. I'll be happy to pull a card for you. Final call. I'm going to take a minute to read over some of the comments that came through as I was reading. And thank you, Spiritual Junkie, for the heart. So good to see you today. You're so welcome, Anna. And David, thank you for the follow. My friends, I got you. Absolutely, Ella. General for Ella, please. One card for Ella General. Highest priority messages from Spirit. You got two cards out, Ella. Be constant right now. Don't move back and forth between decisions. Recognize, build into the confidence of a choice right now. Don't question yourself. You know what I mean? Yeah, again, something about this Libra energy is working in the context of remember, I keep on getting the message, and here's the thing about it. Coming out of some of this eclipse cycle, being able to be even keel, that is its own accomplishment. Think about everything else above that as extra credit. I keep on seeing that there's some kind of situation or circumstance that you're navigating incredibly well, but it's because you're navigating through the force of uncertainty with energetic conviction. So continue to do that. Thank you again, Ella, for having that reading with me, and thank you for being a subscriber. David, these are, or General for Nat, these are subscriber readings. So if you'd like to become a subscriber, all you need to do is hit that subscribe button. I'll be happy to pull a card for you. One card for Ruby on love, please. I keep on seeing, remember, I keep on saying, be able to navigate the difference between hesitation and trepidation. Someone moving towards you carefully versus energy that's this is saying even now, I see someone that's coming towards you. It's in the process of healing. But again, it's saying to me that the ability to work through frustrations or communicate frustrations, allowing the ground from which something new, the beauty of a frustrating conversation is a plan, and the ability to articulate upon it, the ability to speak towards it. I keep on hearing it gives you that sense of refreshment, because it's the energy that almost says thank you, like don't don't, I don't want you holding back, I want you communicating. Like they're almost like the saying to me, like that ability, like feel confident in that space. um don't let the past shape the present, is what I keep seeing. Don't assume that the past is happening again. Give the energy of the present the benefit of the doubt. General for little. No, go for it. What are you waiting for? Like this is giving me like go big or go home energy. You know, I keep on seeing you can be emotional and consistent, right? Yeah, like especially as it relates, like, you know, feels good is good, you know, like moving towards what feels like it's in alignment to you. And I kind of see you doing so and being like, if another person doesn't agree with that, not over internalizing it. Like it's giving me something about like that sounds like a you problem, right? Like, so just be mindful about that. Hi there. Oh, hold on a minute. Hi there, Roya. How are you doing? We are doing personal readings right now. So if you would like a reading, all you need to do is send the donation. I'll be happy to pull a card for you. Or if you become a member, if you join and become a member, I'm happy to pull a card for you as well. Good to see you today, Grace. How are you doing? Hope you're having a beautiful day. All right. Yes, feels good is good. Yeah, I mean, like yeah, like it's giving me a lot of green lights around something, you know? All right. My friends, all you do to become a member, Roa, is if you go to my profile, there's a join button. Becoming a subscriber that's how you become a member. Thank you, Anna, for that crown. My friends, we've reached the conclusion of the daily collective read for today, and personal readings. I want to thank you guys for being here and receiving these messages. Just a reminder, if you missed the daily collective, it'll be up later today on the place where we keep the videos. It'll also be up on the place where we keep the photos. It'll also be up as a podcast over on my spot at Tarot Church and over on my Substack. We will be back on tomorrow at our normal time, 8 a.m. PST, 11 a.m. Eastern. If you would like to be notified as to when I've gone live, all you need to do, get over to my profile, hit the bell at the top of the screen, and that'll turn on notifications. You can also register directly for the event tomorrow, because sometimes this app doesn't like to push those notifications. I also want to let you guys know that if you've just become a subscriber today, thank you. Welcome to the collective. I would encourage you to head over to our subscriber only Discord channel and introduce yourself to the collective. You'll also find there in the perk section a very special coupon code that will give you an additional discount to our Tarot Church class subscription. Our next class is this Wednesday at 6 p.m. PST, 9 p.m. Eastern. We'll be focusing our studies on the Hangman card. I want to thank you guys so much for being here today and sharing in these messages. Huge thank you to my followers, old and new. Thank you for being here today, and thank you for sharing in these messages. Huge thank you to my subscribers. Thank you for all of your support. Means the world to me. And the biggest thank you to my mods. Thank you so much for all of your help today. I hope you guys have an absolutely beautiful day. Please take care of yourselves. Please take care of one another. And we will do this again tomorrow. Have a great day, everyone.